what's happening here that's not happening anyplace else?
I mean, the competitive level starts at 4 years old.
Classic rivalry.
Hall of Fame type coaches, great personalities.
All three schools, though, they changed the game of college football.
Florida State Seminole.
Miami Hurricanes.
Florida Gators.
You want to dominate your opponents and you want to get stoned, make sure that you roll up.
Oh, really?
It's the roll up. It's the vibes. Another beautiful day in the Sunshine State, and I am kicking it with the illest Larion, CJ. What it do?
What's good, my guy? Everything's cool. So technology give me another goddamn roundhouse to the jaw. Other than that, I'm cool, man. I feel like the oldest of men. Like, how much memory you got? I don't know, man. Shit. I know I got the cheapest MacBook you can get, so it probably ain't got a lot.
No doubt, man. How you feeling, CJ?
Feeling good, fellas. Feeling good. 3-1 in fantasy football, man. In both my leagues, I'm out to a hot start in fantasy, so I'm feeling pretty good, fellas. Feeling real well.
Great week on the socials, man. I seen you out there with the Jets giving out handful of tickets, man. Like Nino Brown giving out turkeys, bro. I seen
Nino, man. Keys to the city. But nah, man. So, but yeah, real talk though, man. James Coleman, he was fortunate to bless my team with some tickets. Had like 30 tickets, players and coaches included. And just took them to the game. Felt like it'd be a good experience for the kids. We won earlier that day, so it's pretty much perfect. Unlike FSU, right? But it was pretty much perfect though for those kids, just to see that situation. A lot of them FSU fans here, a lot of them were UF and some Miami fans too. We had one kid say, "Could he do the damn chop instead of the tomahawk or whatever?" Told that boy, "You want to play another snap? This part one of the season if you do that."
Kid got a bright future, man.
But
no, making good decisions.
But no, seriously though, man, the kids, they definitely enjoy it. I feel like it gave them something to kind of strive for. I feel like it's always something good for kids that age just to, have some type of positive shit going on and can see there's other avenues of where this game can really take you. Bright lights and big stage, it can take you far, man. This game is blessed a lot of people, and you could be, it took a lot of people out of some crazy or messed up situations. And you do the same thing if you treat it right. So just want to show them boys that, this is obtainable if you keep working. And just put that bug in the ear.
Yeah, that's dope.
Also
kids remember that forever, man. Yeah.
Yeah,
they'll remember that shit forever, man. I think it was dope. Those kids in there, it's inspiring for them. Win, lose, or draw. A lot of them probably hadn't been in the stadium, so that was dope. Football has been, speaking of kids in football, it's just been second guessing a lot of shit, man. And watching that Tua situation over the weekend, I want to ask y'all boys y'all opinion on it, how it's unfolding, because I know a couple of doctors coming out saying that they think he probably suffered from some permanent brain injury from what they saw. It just looked like a very sensitive situation, man. It was scary. The way he hit the ground when he got up and the way he fell down. A lot of the situations around his head injury is very scary. But what's y'all opinion on it?
Nah, man, I think the Dolphins, not this thing, was just the Dolphins, the NFL, NFLPA, whoever was all involved in that situation to begin with, they dropped the ball. If you look at that previous week, man, like it was clear as day. They tried to say it was a back injury. Like, come on, now you're insulting my intelligence. First of all, to say it's a back injury. It was clear as day that kid hit his head hard on the ground once he was slung to the ground. And also once he got up, he didn't know where he was at. He was delirious. He was pretty much stumbling around and just trying to figure out where he was at on the field. So nowhere in hell a back injury would make you, react that way. So it was clear as that it was some type of head injury to begin with. So I don't think he should have been cleared to play from the jump. And then you look at that game, it was like, damn, it's two throws are kind of off, throws are bad, but you tie everything together. Like, this motherfucker shouldn't have been playing in the first place. So that probably attributed to why he was playing so bad in that first half. And then you go ahead and have the hit against, against the Bengals that kind of sealed the deal for him, man. That was crazy. So, and just to see how he reacted on that field, his hands, his fingers, that was the signs were there. Yeah, it was scary, man. It was signs that the brain was on some other shit, to say it lightly at that point in time. So I really think the NFL, they want to drop the ball, man, because they dropped the ball, man. Yeah, that's just something, a real sensitive subject, something that should be taken lightly due to all the recent events we've seen with head injuries. So, yeah, the prayers out of Tua, first and foremost. Hope he can bounce back and be good from it, but it didn't look good at all from my perspective. And I think the NFL could have prevented that.
I think it's pretty simple. Like, learning to, like, we got more information from, shout out to the Brain Prophets, one of our associate podcasts. And, Dr. Duyan made it pretty simple is, the brain can get injured. Just as simple as, just as easy as he could have pulled a hamstring.
Right.
I think they took the initial injury way too lightly. Tried to downplay it. I just don't believe that within that organization, no one knew that this guy had suffered an actual concussion. I don't believe that. Sometimes you got to protect players from
Didn't they say? I think someone said he passed concussion protocol.
The protocol, yeah.
So if it was a back injury, why the fuck you in concussion protocol in the first place? Like this shit is just not adding up. What are we testing for?
Something. Right.
The math isn't math.
Here's the thing: if it's a brain injury, because a lot of like head and spine is 1 and 2. It ain't got to be like an actual concussion. It could be a head and spine injury because it's the same thing. But either way, in hindsight, I thought it was scary at first, but after the second injury, it looked worse in hindsight, in my opinion.
Right, and it's just like essentially all he needed was, the appropriate rest. And now it looks like it could be a situation where, like I said, it could be permanent damage and God forbid, something where he may be suffering permanent brain trauma. That's tremendous. I mean, you can't downplay it. It seems simpler than, I think we don't think of the brain as just like the computer that it is. It is our central nervous system. It runs everything. So it goes, clearly the rest of the body goes. So just seems like it was poorly handled on all sides. When he got up, man, he was drunk and wobbling. I'm like, bro, this is insane. That was
clear, man. It was clear.
Yeah. So I hope things go well. I mean, as far as, I know y'all got young boys, so that play some football and, starting to play some contact sport. I mean, I guess that's what some extra concern comes in. I don't know. I mean, if you're going to let them play, I think it's just important to just be hyper vigilant about how things go down out there and protect them.
That's why
sometimes from themselves and in those situations.
That's why I'm a big component of not putting those kids in contact too early. I said it on the podcast plenty of times in regards to Pop Warner and just starting too early. Let your kid play flag, get the understanding of the game, get the fundamentals down, learn how to actually play the game without the contact, get technique down, things like that. And then you move forward. But yeah, be very careful, man, because it's, like I said, the brain is a delicate situation. If you're banging from 6 years old to, say, 18 high school, you're lucky enough to go to the next level, 21, 22, a little higher than that. That's a lot of banging on the head, man. So try to prevent that as often. How can I put it? Try to prevent it at an early stage as much as you can.
Yeah, no doubt. This is gonna be a different type of show. We have 3 different guests coming on for the 3 matchups, so we're gonna keep it free flowing. We'll get back to some Tua talks and Tua takes. Before we get my man Ross Martin on from to do some North Carolina talk with Larry Young. Shout out to the great folks at State Farm and Allen Home Insurance. Be sure to give them a call at 706-692-2888 for all insurance needs in Georgia, Florida, Tennessee, and Alabama. Also, while we're doing the insurance, I do want to give just prayers and shout outs to anybody that's doing any type of Hurricane Ian relief. We're looking to partner with anybody, any help out there that we can do as far as bringing some type of recognition to your platform. Give us a shout out. We're interested in helping in that in any capacity that we can. But once again, for any insurance needs, give Allen Horn a call at 706-692-2888. And that's in Georgia, Florida, Tennessee, and Alabama.
All right, real quick before we move on, shout out to Reggie B for the donation. Say about Paul Masson on me, fellas.
Paul Masson is dirty work, man.
All right, Reggie, you must be from Duval.
I mean, you don't love life no more.
Reggie from Bellglade, man.
Reggie from Bellglade?
Yeah.
Oh, man, that makes sense then, dog.
I got Ross to the stage.
Yeah, let's do it.
That man in the woods. Justin Timberlake style. I like it. Man in the woods.
What's up?
Is that a green screen backdrop, or that's really your how you living?
I'm about to say that's how he living. I can tell the difference.
This is Chapel Hill, North Carolina, guys.
Oh, that's Chapel Hill. That's beautiful, man.
Yeah,
that's good stuff.
That's what's up, man. Ross, thank you for joining us. Ross is here from Inside Carolina, correct? Yeah, Inside Carolina. Contributor over there for football and basketball, correct?
That's right. Yeah, football, basketball, a little recruiting mixed in there. Mostly the two major revenue sports.
Hey, Ross, real quick before we get into
coming on here today.
Before we get into the North Carolina win, real quick, Larry, before we get into that win that North Carolina's about to get, Ross, what kind of animals do you have in your backyard and stuff? And I know you have a lot of wildlife that goes here, right?
Yeah, so we got some deer back here every once in a while. We had a fox family this summer back here. Nice. I get a lot of snakes, lizards, frogs. Of course, a lot of squirrels, but the coolest thing is deer. I'll be working out here, and no bear out here. Maybe some coyotes occasionally, but the fox was the coolest thing this summer. We had a fox family that ate my neighbor's chickens. I got chickens next door.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's kind of country back here.
I mean, you can't leave your puppies and shit out neither if they eating kittens, man. Coyotes don't play.
That's right.
Yeah, definitely.
Hey, nature is ruthless, man. You know, as far as they're concerned, that's just another meal. I ain't mad at them.
Yeah,
that's right. You know, they say protect your chickens. So first off, man, I want to ask you, how much did my man Rick, aka just call me Mav, endorsement get you to come on? He gave me the stamp quick, man. I was like, oh man, what's up, Rick? Appreciate that.
Yeah, no, I mean that was good to see. I see that guy a lot on you cut out there for a second, but I see that guy a lot on Twitter. So I try not to turn down anything. You know, you got to promote yourself, and so if anybody wants to have me on their show, I usually, you know, will go on. I mean, I don't really care who it is, or I've done like 2 or 3 things in Miami already. So I try to, you know, get my name out there as much as possible, and never say no. I think that's a good way to kind of live life. So I usually will say yes to anybody if I have the time, and it works out. So,
man of the people, I like to hear that. So you Carolina born and bred, or a transplant?
Yeah, born in Greensboro, which is about an hour west of Chapel Hill, and
North Carolina A&T.
That's right. Yeah, I went to elementary school really close to A&T, in downtown there. And then went to UNC a while back and moved around a little bit, but came back here in 2015 to cover UNC. So I've been covering them pretty hardcore since about 14, 15. I've been with Inside Carolina since 2017 with 24/7 Sports and CBS. So it's been pretty good. Good team to cover. Football, you know, football is a little mediocre, but basketball, I've been to 3 Final Fours, 3 national championship games with basketball. So that's been pretty fun.
Matt got to be fun to cover, though. We're going to get into some real football talk here in a second, but Matt got to be fun to cover, though.
Yeah. He's good. I mean, he's good with the media. You know, he was in the media, so he kind of gets it. You know, he'll talk. That can be a good thing. That can also take up a lot of time, but he can talk and he'll tell you. I mean, he's honest. You ask him a question, he'll give you an honest answer. And I guess you'd rather have someone who talks than someone who doesn't talk. You know, there is some coach speak mixed in, but you know, you ask him a pretty good question, he'll try to give you a pretty good answer. That's kind of what you want. And they're good with the media. I think UNC, you know, kind of wants as much exposure as possible. So they've been pretty good with availabilities and getting us access to players and coaches within reason. So yeah, and he gets it. You know, he's a pretty nice guy, pretty fun, pretty loose guy. So yeah, it's been good.
What you think? I don't know how close you know, or what you think Mac do for fun now that he don't got Manny to bully no more? Fire the man.
And just go bully his cousin.
Yeah.
Mac.
Wow, that's hilarious.
I done told y'all about that racism on here, man. People are not related. You can't just keep connecting my Cubans, bro. 2 totally different regimes.
Mac's got a house in the mountains. He's got a $10 million house on the beach. He likes to golf, but I mean, he has got a big time house in Chapel Hill. So I think he likes coaching, likes to get back in coaching, but he likes to play his golf and likes to go to the mountains. Other than that, you know, count his money and hang out.
Right.
It's just
put on his J's. Go to the mall and say, y'all ain't got these.
That's what I imagine all old rich people do, just count their money when they're bored, man.
Yeah, I do think he likes coaching and enjoys being back in it. I think when you get a certain age, you get kind of bored. You need something to do. And so getting back into coaching, like, it's a challenge for him, and it kind of keeps him occupied. He's pretty passionate about it. Apparently, I mean, he has unlimited energy when it comes to trying to get UNC football back on track.
That's what's good. Well, let's talk a little ball, man. Get right into it. Obviously, I know if you done spoke on this at all, the man of the hour, the phenom, Drake May. His accuracy is nice, but he's got good legs too, man. Pause, I guess, if necessary. I probably need to say that. Is there any weaknesses in this game so far? I ain't seen nothing bad.
Yeah, I mean, it's been pretty good so far. I would say, if anything, just, he's young, and so occasionally you see him get a little rattled when there's pressure. I think when there is some pressure on him, he's not as good, which makes sense. Which makes sense for a true freshman. Weaknesses, man, I think he get a little stronger, and I think he needs to protect himself. I don't know if y'all seen, but man, he jumps over guys and gets hit. He got his wind knocked out of him against Virginia Tech, which is pretty scary. He's not one to slide or to get out of bounds, but he's very aggressive in trying to get the first down, trying to score. And man, if UNC lost him, they would not be very good. So he needs to protect himself. That'd be the one knock on him right now is look, you are this team right now. Slide, get out of bounds, protect yourself. But yeah, Drake May, super accurate, 6'5", can see over the line, pick apart defense. He's going into his 6th game, and he is number 1 in the nation in passing touchdowns. I think UNC is like top 15 in passing yards, 1 interception. He can hit the deep ball. He's got some good receivers, and Josh Downs, who I think will be a top pick in the next couple of years or in next year's draft, a top 2-round pick. And like you said, he can do some stuff with his feet too. He's not a blazer with his legs, but he can move around. He can create time and space. He can go get that first down, go get that touchdown. So it's been incredible to watch how good he is as early as it is right now. Coming off Sam Howell, who's now with the Washington Commanders. He was pretty good for 3 years, and it seems already Drake May is already at that level where, Sam Howell was great.
Yeah, Drake May is everything that I said Tyler Van Dyke was. I got help too. They told me that, and then I don't know. They ruined my man so far. We'll see if we can get it fixed against a defense that has been suspect to say the least. A lot of talent out there, a lot of star power. What do you think, if you could, pinpoint something that you think might be the largest issue with the defense as of right now?
Man, I think they can't run the ball, or they can't stop the run. And you know how it is, man. If you can't stop the run, you can't be a good defense. You have to stop the run. And that was the issue against Notre Dame, man. Notre Dame just ran the ball, and UNC could not stop them. Whether it was issues with tackling from the linebacker position, filling the gaps, being in the right gap as defensive line. And so if Notre Dame, if Miami or any team, if they want to see how to beat UNC from an offensive standpoint, and look at what Notre Dame did and try to replicate that. Because Notre Dame has a lot of talent, big bodies, big offensive linemen. But they took it to UNC, and UNC was helpless against the Irish. So that's a blueprint I would do if I was a team. Just try to run the ball, and then force them to go 8 in the box, 7 in the box, and then try to hit the deep ball or try to pass it. But UNC's had trouble stopping the run. They were better against Virginia Tech, but I don't think Virginia Tech's that good. I know Miami will play them obviously pretty soon, and I think Virginia Tech's one of the worst teams in the ACC. So I don't know how much you can really take from UNC's 41-10 win over the Hokies last weekend.
Yeah, I'd like to go into that game confidently, but I gotta wait. We gotta see what happens with this UNC game first. Usually one of the biggest telltale signs for me, I like to ask guys that are a little closer to the team. Real quick, can you kind of grade out the trenches on both sides, like just an overall letter, offensive line and then defensive line?
Yeah, I mean, I'd give the UNC offensive line like a C plus. I think they've been really good in pass protection, but I think they leave a little bit more to be desired in run blocking.
Thank God.
The running backs have kind of struggled on first and second down to kind of get that 4, 5, 6 yards, which can really help you when it comes down third down, second down. So I think they need a lot of work on run blocking. So C plus, B. Pass protection has been a lot better, and that's helped Drake May. That was a little bit of concern because Sam Howell was always running for his life. Defensive line, now I give defensive line a D minus. Not getting much pressure on the passer. Obviously, the run game concerns, run defense concerns, which I talked about, and at D, maybe I think D plus. That's a little rough, but they need a big game, and I think they need to show it against Miami and then Duke, and from there we'll have a better idea of what this defensive line is. I mean, maybe D plus, C minus. I don't know. I feel like I don't want to be too harsh to these guys. They're 18, 19,
it's early, but I feel
old.
you.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're getting battered up front, it's kind of hard to show much love. Maybe they'll hear it and get inspired to see if they can turn this thing around a little bit.
Ross, I do think they're. Go ahead.
I got a question, Larry. But go ahead, Ross. Go ahead, finish your statement.
Well, I do think Notre Dame was really, really good. I think Notre Dame had a really good defensive line, and that's important. I don't think UNC will face a team like Notre Dame again on the schedule. So what Notre Dame did to them from a defensive standpoint, I don't think they'll face a defensive line like that or an offensive line like that again.
Ross, real quick, give me your take on the North Carolina secondary. I know Dre Bly's done a really good job of recruiting in regards to the secondary. He's got a lot of star power within the UNC secondary. Of course, he's a former Tar Heel himself, NFL great. Give your take on Dre Bly in the secondary and what they've been doing so far this season.
Yeah, I mean, he has recruited well. He obviously recruits more than just a cornerback. Storm Duck, what a name there. Storm Duck is a veteran. He's been okay. Tony Grimes is this 5-star kid they got out of Tidewater, Virginia.
Reclassified as well, right?
Yeah, he reclassified. He skipped his senior year. It was all during the COVID area type stuff. He reclassified. He moved it up to try to get to the NFL as soon as possible. He's been okay. They've gotten a little bit better. I think the issue with the secondary has been the safeties. I think the cornerbacks have been okay. I think we expected a lot more from them because on paper, man, Storm Duck's been really good. He's really good as a freshman. Tony Grimes is pretty good as a freshman. And so you would think when they're juniors and seniors, third-year players, they'd be a lot better. But the defense has been, very suspect, to be honest. And we're just hoping to see a little bit better performance from them each game as they get better and better. Because they have a new defensive coordinator. They do have, there is some time to improve under a whole new defensive system.
Chiswick, right?
That's right, Gene Chiswick. For his second time at UNC. He was there. Yeah, he was there in 15 and 16. And he was pretty good there. He only stayed for 2 years and then moved back to Alabama. But he's back here in 2022.
No doubt. I know you're limited on time, so I ain't gonna hold you too much longer. I have a few more questions for you. If you, we know about Downs. Haven't really heard a ton about the running backs this season, and obviously May. So, who would you kind of give me as maybe your X factor on the offensive side of the ball? A guy that may surprise a few people coming into this game who may not have seen the Tar Heels so far on the offensive side.
Yeah, I mean, I think a good guy to just for fans to know would be Bryson Nesbitt. He's a 6'6" tight end. You know about Josh Downs. Antoine Green is a deep threat wide receiver and a Florida guy. But Bryson Nesbitt has been really showing out. I think he had 90 something yards and a touchdown against Virginia Tech. 6'6", 230, kind of in that mold of an NFL, wide receiver / tight end combo athlete. So Drake May loves to hit him across the middle. He's been an end zone threat as well. So Bryson Nesbitt would be the player, just kind of that X factor player that fans should kind of know. You'll see him too. I mean, he's legit kind of 6'6", big bodied tight end out there that can catch a ball and take it, 10, 15 yards after the catch.
Ross, real quick. Oh, my bad.
No, go ahead. You good, bro.
What do you think about
Uncle
this
Silk.
Miami team? Yeah, that's the the vibes, man. Ross, what do you think about this this Miami team, they just dropped one in Middle Tennessee State. We know Mario has a reputation for recruiting and what he could do, and he's back in South Florida. But what's your opinion of this matchup, this team? Anything that scare you? What do you see on film?
So what I would ask y'all is like the quarterback situation just seems kind of dicey. You know, they bench Tyler Van Dyke, and the backup looks pretty good, right? Garcia, he looked pretty good when he was in there. So then you have this kind of, I don't know, I haven't watched as much tape as y'all, but that's just, I would worry about the confidence of Tyler Van Dyke. You know, being careful, not making the right reads and throws because he's nervous of getting pulled again. And if he gets pulled one more time, like, man, you got to kind of move on. And we heard all the hype about him coming off last year. You know, he was kind of that breakout player. And so, you know, obviously quarterback's the most important position. So that's kind of my question, like, what's going on at quarterback? And is there a short leash now, or are they going to roll with him? Was that just kind of a deal where you get him out so he doesn't hurt himself anymore? And then what I think in general with Miami, it's like this, you know, you always think they should be good because of the recruiting base down there in South Florida, and they just haven't gotten to that point yet. You would think Cristobal can get things rolling. And so I always think that Miami has these athletes, and as long as athletes can get developed and get coached, they can always be pretty special. But they do have athletes. And I watched one game. I watched Miami, man. Those receivers were dropping balls left and right, and that's my kind of. I didn't watch much tape, but that's the takeaway. I think it was against Texas A&M, man. They were dropping a bunch of balls. So I'll ask y'all, you know, what's the deal at quarterback, and then the concerns, like, you know, is it pretty low morale now? What's the deal?
I mean, you know, coach speak.
They still lying a little bit, Ross. Morale ain't
well, I mean,
that's
coach speak. What you gonna do? You gonna come out and
still lying a little bit?
Yeah, you can't come out and be like, yeah, we in some shit. You know what I mean? Like that can't be the movie. So he's got to give him the support. He will be starting. I mean, short leash, I would imagine relatively. That's just my speculation on the situation. I don't, you know, obviously have any actual information on that, but we can, you know, you mentioned earlier about running. We can be dangerous in the run game. We did get healthy again, so that will help. We were concerned we're going to be down our top two backs, but said they're full go. So, you know, that'll present some issues. Hopefully we can get that going, because we didn't get it going against Middle Tennessee State. So, you know, I don't know what to think of this team right now, to be honest with you, man. It's totally schizophrenic. And new coach, new regime, got to get some of that old stuff out of there. So we'll see.
Yeah. I mean, it's early with Cristobal, man. It's just the transition's tough. Like, it's a whole new system, whole new offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator. Like, it's not going to happen like that. These are, like I always say, it's 18, 19, 20-year-old kids. Like, it's not like an NFL team where you inject a coaching staff and you would just, they can go, you know, 12-6 or whatever. So I think it takes some time. And once they get, I mean, he can recruit. He's from that area. I think it's easy to recruit in Miami, especially with the NIL stuff. So I think from the ACC perspective, like, I don't think Cristobal going to Miami was it didn't make a lot of everybody else feel great, because I think he's a big time coach. So you put in the right coach, I think, in a situation where he can be successful from a kind of a big picture standpoint. Like, that's what the ACC needs. They need Miami, they need Florida State, they need Virginia Tech to be good, along with Clemson, obviously.
You're asking a lot right now. You're asking a lot.
Yeah. It's downtown. I know what. If Mario can't do it, we might well go ahead and hang the program up. I can tell you that.
He put Virginia Tech in there too.
I agree. They've been down.
But that was when we brought Miami and Virginia Tech over, that was the thought process, right?
You sent an invitation.
CJ
was in there. He had a key to the CJ.
Hey, y'all invite Miami.
I mean. But seriously, Ross, I feel like that was the goal, though, right? To have a powerhouse in Virginia Tech and Miami, because at that point in time, they were pretty good football programs.
Yeah, I think the leadership in the ACC was like, we need to get better at football. Let's bring in these successful programs like Miami, who was killing it, you know, in the 80s, 90s, early 2000s under Butch Davis, et cetera, and then Virginia Tech under Beamer. And I think Virginia Tech, they don't have it anymore, because I don't know if y'all been up there, man. It is in the middle of nowhere. It's hard to recruit there. They have this culture of like kind of blue collar, hard nosed, gritty, but it doesn't have that Beamer feeling anymore. But I think Miami is such like Virginia Tech's not a national brand. Virginia Tech is a regional brand. I think Miami is a national brand. The U, the colors, You know, all the famous alums, like those talented teams y'all had with I think it was the 2000 team or 2001 team, which had like what 15, 20 first round picks or some crazy like that. Like I think you know what I'm talking about. What team was that? Was it 2001?
That was you talking about the
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
yeah. I mean, the U has a national brand, and I think it still does. So I think you put the right coach in there. I think it can get back. And look, the ACC is winnable. It's always winnable. Outside of Clemson, man, I just don't know why. You know,
Did you
I don't
see
know
the
why
Middle Tennessee
Miami
State
hasn't.
game? You actually
that's why it's so confusing, man.
Yeah,
that's why it's so confusing.
That's
like,
all right. Hey, listen, you're gonna have to come down there. UNC gonna have to come down there and play in front of a raucous crowd of 3,000. I don't know if y'all used to playing in a place that quiet. I don't know if you could play in amongst the whispers and the fighting in the stands amongst us fans, but
yeah, it might be louder at practice, Ross.
It's all good. It's
Yeah,
all good.
yeah,
I think they'll have a decent showing for that one. We'll see. I don't think it'll sell out, but it's UNC, so it ought to be a pretty decent showing for that one. All in all,
do y'all travel well, Ross?
Yeah, I don't think there'll be too many Carolina fans down there either. I mean, there'll be some.
But I said it could have been a home field. It could have been a home field game for you guys. Y'all travel pretty decent.
Yeah, it won't be like Clemson or Florida State, or it won't be like UNC fans, man. They're not the best football fans either, to be honest.
Nice stadium though. I've been there when we on the 4th and 17. Yeah, it's a nice place. I enjoyed it. All right, Ross. Before we get you out of here, man, let's go ahead and get that old nasty score prediction out of the way.
Okay.
Real quick,
you got one?
Give you overall synopsis of the game, how you see it playing out, not just the score,
both sides.
How you see it playing out.
What has to happen for UNC to win? What has to happen for Miami to win?
I think if Miami can run the ball, they can take the game into the fourth quarter, force some turnovers, and they'll be there. They can run the ball. Now, that means you have to show it kind of the first quarter, second quarter. If they can run the ball, that should give you Miami fans hope. Now the spread is Miami still
try
favored,
to shorten
right?
the game like they Georgia Southern or something, huh?
Yeah, keep the ball out of Drake May's hands. That's the key, and then maybe get a turnover. Usually whoever wins the turnover battle wins. So then get a turnover and run the ball and keep UNC's defense off the field.
I'm not a MEAC program.
Man, I think UNC has the better offense, and I think if they can't limit Drake May, I think UNC could win by a touchdown or more. Like, this offense is legit. Now, if they can figure out if they can figure out some things in the run game, it's hard to stop, man, when they get going. So, they need to put pressure on Drake May, make him uncomfortable. But man, he's been so good. There's no reason to think, just based on kind of how Miami's looked recently, there's no reason to think that Drake won't have a big game. And I think the team with the better quarterback usually wins when things are equal. So I'm picking UNC, and I don't know why the spread is. I don't know why Miami's favored right now. I don't know what they know, what Vegas knows, but I'll go something like, I'll go like 31, 20, 27, 28, around that range. I think you can stay pretty close there. I think UNC can put some points there. Yeah. UNC moves fast. They can score like that. They can score like that.
We know UNC. A lot of points for UNC. We know that's a given.
UNC. I got more points for UNC. I like your 31, but I'm gonna raise you.
All right, go ahead.
Let's try to be nice.
Don't be nice on this show. Have you heard how they talk to me? There ain't no niceness on this show.
I predicted a dog fight with Middle Tennessee State, Ross. So they got to give me my flowers a little bit. But give me 44. 17, man. North Carolina, I think they run away with it, man. I think it's ugly down there.
That's crazy. I had 17 for my offensive score for UM2. So I'm gonna go 38-17 UM. I'm not UNC. I think, like I said, from what I've seen, UM's defense isn't that good. And then, like I said, made in that UNC offense is pretty explosive. And I haven't seen too much at all from Miami's offense. So yeah, this is something that Larry said on our past podcast. If Miami can't score points, and it's a wrap. So we'll see how that goes. I'm gonna say 17-38 UNC.
It's gonna be interesting because I think if Miami if they start slow like they did the last couple games, right? If they start slow like that, it could get ugly quick. And just curious to see if it does get ugly quick, how fast they go to Jake Garcia.
Larry, what you got?
It's been, the streak is, I think it's 4 right now. So
They beat y'all 4 times in a row?
It's 3 or 4.
Yeah.
yeah,
Mac has not lost. Mac hasn't lost, so Mac's 3-0.
Oh, Mac, big dog.
Yeah, Mac don't play that, man.
That's your big
homie.
homie.
I always respect it. You ain't never heard me get on this show and disrespect nobody who been kicking our butt.
No, you've been saying you take more serious as a rapper. You've been saying that for a long time.
I've been trying to tell the fans. I don't know what y'all sleeping on. Oh, it's Carolina. All right, chalk it up. You keep losing though. I look at it like if we can get this run game back on track, it'll help Tyler get his confidence going. Again, like I said, the defense hadn't, stopped the nosebleed outside of Virginia Tech, who is abysmal, I think. I can't believe how bad they are right now. But with that being said, I'm going to take we come alive, man. 42-34, man. Canes. In front of a crowd of 3,700, man. You know what I'm saying? Screaming fans. We rush the field. We bring the field goal down. The curse is over. You know what I mean?
The optimistic numbers. I'll tell you that.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I learned from the best. Yeah. 50-something on USF, right?
I don't know what I said, but
yeah, it wasn't good.
We got out of there with a win, man.
Anyway, that's true.
Ross, how you doing, my guy? Appreciate you for hanging out with us. Tell the people where they can find you at.
Yeah, InsideCarolina.com, and then on Twitter at @RossMartin_IC. We have tons of good podcasts out too, so check out our YouTube page, Inside Carolina on YouTube, and then anywhere you get your podcasts, just search for Inside Carolina. Tons of preview stuff. Any Miami fans kind of want to get a little glimpse inside UNC before the Hurricane Tar Heels game. Appreciate it, guys.
Thanks
a
lot.
Man. Hold it down, Ross.
All right, we'll see y'all.
Are we gonna continue to talk this matchup? You off a bye week, so we ain't got a recap. We can go ahead and talk this matchup while we're here.
Yeah, but real quick though, man. Shout out to the Ole Miss Ohio State fans that's in the building, man. We appreciate you guys
for
hanging out with us today, and also shout out to Kayla for the donation. Say, Larry, you turn off the game in the first quarter again.
It depends, brother.
Big nap in the plans, man.
It depends, my brother. What do I have to watch? Nah, I mean, to be honest with you, for me, it was more about the opponent, not necessarily the score and how it went. Like if that would have been in Carolina, I would have hung in there and watched. But I was like, this is absolutely ridiculous. So that's why I didn't watch none of that. I'm like, that doesn't make sense. So I can kind of maybe make some sense.
It ain't gonna make sense Saturday in my mind. I told you what score I think it's gonna be, so I don't think it's gonna make sense again. So you make it.
I mean, if we only score 17 points, like both of y'all predicting, then yeah, it ain't gonna make no sense. And that's unexcusable. And,
I probably should have gave y'all 20.
Oh, I can't wait.
Generous.
I can't wait for your little podcast game, boy. Look at here.
How you feel about your running back room, man? While we are here, I know there was some questions about if Parrish and who's my other guy, Knighton, we're gonna be healthy, able to play this game. So how you feel about your running back room and the health there?
Hey, with them back, I mean, Mario said they full speed, ready to go. That's very encouraging. Especially against a team that hadn't been able to stop the run. So, got to get the running game going. It was going really well previous to the last game. So, I'm feeling real good about that. I actually just saw a little clip from PFF that had Parrish as the fourth best running back in the nation right now as far as, their little analytical type stuff.
What was the category like? Was it PFL kind of breakdown and stuff?
They I think they just I got the I'll send you the graphic
overall grade.
I think it was just overall grade. Yeah,
okay. Gotcha.
I just caught that scanning the timeline. So
that's cool.
Like I said, I have been.
He has been. I think Silk mentioned it earlier. He runs bigger than his than what his weight suggests. He runs pretty hard, but he has been
the best player right now.
Yeah, from what I see
on the whole team, I think right now he's the best player on the whole team right now. Only fight I see. I really thought y'all should have took him originally out of South Florida instead of him going to Ole Miss. I feel like y'all should have got him originally.
Yeah, I did too. I was high on him when I watched his film. He was going crazy. He was going absolutely insane. But they kind of at the time they was looking at him and Rooster as kind of twins. So it was like, well, we'd be bringing the same back, and I don't think. if they both willing.
They're definitely not the same backs.
In high school, they were, more comparable maybe. I think, he separated himself at the next level. But we chose to go with Chaney, who was, kind of supposed to be more what we're seeing in a Henry Parrish right now. Hopefully we'll get him back within a few more weeks. I think he was supposed to be out somewhere in the 6-week range. So hopefully we'll get him back in that room too. Then we could be at 100% total full strength. So it's going to be crucial, especially in this game. That was really exciting news to get, because I ain't gonna lie, I was very nervous about like how we were really going to get the run game going without those guys in that game. So this is a game for opportunities for the offense to come alive. This is probably the most crucial game of the season to me right now. You had an extra week to get it together. We are favored. I don't know, maybe it's just I don't know. Mario, it's only 3.5. We're 3.5 point favorites on that one. Mario is good off of the bye, unlike Manny. Manny was absolutely horrible off of buys. So maybe it's a combination of those things, and just hopefully they get the corrections made. There's enough skilled players out there to win this game. I mean, it's just about the adjustments they go out there and make. TVD.
You guys good enough to get in a boat race right now? Because I think regardless, Carolina gonna go score. It's just, do you guys you think you guys are equipped to get in a boat race?
That's on the coaches. I wouldn't playmakers in the best position. I think, like you said, some guys there.
Style wise, not many. Yeah, Mario don't want that style wise. That's not what he wants to get into at all. So I know he likes to play a little conservative. So if it goes to that, I'm just curious, like how much, like, what do you do? Because you're lacking explosive plays, and you also got a conservative-minded coach.
I think this is where I think this is where we have to look for, like you said, how he wants to try to control the game is going to be through the ground game. So the explosiveness is going to have to come from the ground game. Roos is an explosive guy. Parrish has definitely some explosiveness. He's got great balance. I mean, he ripped off like a 40-some yarder in was that one game, but it got pulled back because our center was blocking somebody all the way into the stands, well past the play. So this is a team that's been quite frankly, underachieving themselves. They've been able to pull off these wins, but on paper, this should be a much better team, especially up front. And for him to give them
the App State. So
for him to give them a D on the defense.
App State ain't no hoe. App State will take Miami up through there right now.
Now everybody App State fans. I've been saying App State
ain't never been no hoe. They do that shit to
everybody.
I've been saying, but I'm from. See, y'all got to remember, I'm from Savannah. App State and Georgia Southern used to be bitter rivals. I mean, I guess it's still.
The FCS. Yeah.
So I'm very familiar with them.
I got to take no regards to that. So I think you guys probably have the perfect offense to combat what they got going on. You just got to capitalize on the drives. You got to have effective drives and actually capitalize on them, and not do what you guys did against Texas A&M. Have these long methodical drives, not getting any damn points out of it. So if you guys can capitalize on your drives and get points out of it, you're pretty much doing your offense, which is going to be slow, methodical. You're eating up the clock, which is taken away from North Carolina and that explosive offense. What you guys have to do is actually capitalize on your offense when you have those long, slow, drawn out drives. You can't get threes and stuff like that. You got to get touchdowns, which you guys haven't done. But in order to win this game, I feel like that could kind of bar well for you guys. Is the style of offense. You just got to actually produce within the offense, if that makes sense.
I don't know. They didn't even run the ball that great. If we really look at the numbers, they've just been more consistent, something you can rely on better than the passing game, right? Because like what Henry Parrish went 14 for 57 yards last game, averaging 4.1. Franklin went for like 36, his average was like 2.4. Like they're not putting together. I know that game got away from them, so they had to start running early, but 14 to 15 attempts still pretty much a lot of
respectable.
Right. Those still solid numbers. Yeah. It's like still 30. You're almost at 30 carries there.
Right.
So it's still a lot to be. I know Carolina is struggling in the trenches as well, so it's a lot to see. But it don't bode well when you look at it on paper of how this team, because regardless of what their defense looks like, we know they're gonna score. And my only question mark is now is, does Miami and Van Dyke, that offense, wake up? Because even in the easy games, even in the philanthropy games you guys had in the first couple, we were saying, like, man, I don't know. The slow starts, they're a little creepy. So it's still some question marks about if that offense is going to wake up. And that's what I want to see this game, man. Because if it don't, it can get ugly.
Yeah, and it's going to create a long season. You had an extra week. You got the perfect opponent to get it cranked up against. I mean, it's just, is it time? For me personally, it's not an excuse time. It's an answer time. Like, even if you lose this game, right, I just need to at least get some points up.
What?
And I stutter. Even if you lose this game, this is a bad defense. You got to score.
Yeah, that's
like,
true.
If we can't score again, it's just like, all right, bro. Like, you got to go and watch the season.
Yeah, if FAMU was able to produce, then ain't no way Miami shouldn't be able to.
Right. It's like, come on, man. You got to get something going. I predict you to win.
You watch here, CJ. You just pay attention, fam.
Oh, yeah. I know the vibes of it. I see.
I might try to be there.
Oh, really? Okay.
If y'all don't score more points than fam, I'm ready here to put some spins on some shit, man.
Well, almost fam scored by 21. Then they what?
24, I want to say.
Don't worry about it.
24, man.
Don't
worry about it. I never worried, man.
24. No, I was saying don't worry about it. I was going to look it up. 24 to 56.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, 24. Yeah, 24.
Yeah, one thing about me now, I'll roll on over and let the slobbers hit the pillow, baby. It ain't nothing.
Real cool. Got a super chat, man. Shout out to the realest 904, man. Appreciate the donation. Shout out to the best podcast, Go Gators and Hell Wildcats. Yeah, CJ Old Bronson equals the episode of Oz. And you lying, man. That Old Bronson shit, man. Let's get it how you live, boy. It's dog eat dog world like that, boy. You surviving Old Bronson and Bethune-Cookman, you can survive any fucking well.
And on the flip side of things, the defense, they're going to have to create some stops and some turnovers. We're going to have to get some pressure. He didn't grade the O-line specifically grade either, although he did give the pass protection a good grade. So to me, it's a put up or shut up type game. It shouldn't be a whole lot of excuses. Steele's a vet. He's been in the game a long time. He's got to make the proper adjustments. Why are we putting DJ Ivy on the island when that's not his strength, and getting burnt? We've gotten burnt every single game, in victories and losses. So, of course, you're going to give us some big plays, don't get me wrong, but it's been way too many just getting bombed away. That's gotta discontinue in this game as well. I'm not taking anything away from the talent of the young man. He looks awesome. Very impressed by him. He absolutely looks like a first round. I think North Carolina gets him this year and next year, and then he'll be out of here, early, because people gonna get some film and adjust. So let's see how he adjusts. But the D line's gonna have to step up at every level. Every level. The D line has not played bad. Let me say that. The D line has not played bad. And I honestly think we need to lean on them a little bit more and maybe do some more zone coverage things as opposed to manning up and getting embarrassed.
Yeah, y'all need to be manning nobody after that Middle Tennessee shit.
Yeah, them boys went 99.
I mean, I couldn't agree more. So I hope that
listen, man, if I see you blow past me and we would just line up at the 2, I'm faking an injury, CJ. There's no way I could get just a regular.
No. I sprained my ankle.
I sprained something. I pulled something. I'm coming up lane.
I told my ACL. Like I'm going to the tent. All that shit. Yeah, y'all.
When I get you on the sideline, I'm gonna push you in the back and see how that hammy holding up.
It's all good, but I got on national TV, dog. My family watching this, man. I gotta fake something. This is embarrassing. It's Middle Tennessee.
Right. They understand.
But that's DJ thing. Like DJ, I think is a zone coverage type corner. I think that's just where he would excel. I think he could be one of those guys that you won't necessarily imagine having an NFL career. And next thing you know, he does, just because he has great physical attributes if you get him in the proper system. I'm not banking on that, but he would be, if there was a guy on the roster that you just like, hey, who could just like absolutely surprise you and make a roster? DJ would kind of be that guy. Same way last year, Jonathan Ford, making getting drafted and making the Packers roster. I never would have seen that coming. But then when I looked at it, I was like, well, I mean, he is a big, pretty nimble guy. It's a good run stopper. So it makes sense. So that sometimes it's about being put in the right position. So we'll see how that pans out. Outside of that, I think we got, I think Headley will be back, which I mean, we didn't punt last time, so it didn't even matter. Not.
Y'all didn't punt against Middle Tennessee State?
No, he didn't.
Oh, he didn't punt. Okay,
he didn't. Yeah, my bad. I didn't say I didn't. We didn't. But well, like I say, score prediction stick. I don't got a game to recap. So if y'all ain't got
I can recap on FSU. I don't know if Silk, if you want to recap Eastern Washington or anything like that.
Yeah, I can recap it, but go ahead. Get yours off, man. Do your thing. You had a bigger matchup.
Yeah, so had a ranked loss against Wake Forest this weekend, lost 31-28. I'm sorry, 31-21. Excuse me, my apologies. Giving this offense more credit than they deserve, man. So that's my biggest issue from that game was probably the offense. When you said what now? Sound like all year? No, we score points over here, bro. That's what I'm disappointed.
You've been giving it too much credit all year.
No, we score points over here. That's what I'm disappointed. See, 3 touchdowns for me is a bad offensive output today. 3 touchdowns for y'all doing backflips. It's a little different, baby. But well, no, seriously though, man. Speaking of the offense, I feel like the offense, we just left too much on the damn field, man. We was able to move the ball against Wake Forest, but whenever it was time to crunch time in order to punch the ball in and just take the next step, we'll have stupid penalties to shoot ourselves in the foot that'll get us out of scoring range. Field goals, kicking is still atrocious. Whole Mike was having walk-on practices this week, missing field goals. That threw off the whole game plan because we had to go for 2 a couple times due to the field, just from Mike being uneasy with the field goal kicker. But yeah, Jordan Travis had a really good game numbers wise.
That kicker situation is nasty business, bro. If you scared to kick an extra point, bro, that's a different type of handcuff in the playbook.
I agree 100%, man.
You got to spend a lot of time in practice just working on 2-point conversions now.
Correct, and not only that, it throws off what you want to do offensively too, man. So you kind of got to start playing when you're in the red zone situation. You got 3rd down. You got to start playing for 2-down territory. You got to start playing for that 4th down play. Due to the simple fact that, hey, man, this kick really isn't getting done. It's not nothing I can really count on as far as points on the board. So you got to start planning when you get in those 3rd down situations for your play calling that you're playing for 2 downs. So that's another element that we definitely have to work on, but it has to be addressed, man. Field goal kicking has been atrocious. My receiver play, I'm still impressed with. I'm really loving my receiver play. We got to get more targets at Johnny Wilson. It just has to happen. He's been effective, a matchup problem. Him and Michael Pittman had really good games. Just my receiver core all around has probably been the best unit on offense this far in the season, which is crazy because last year it was by far the worst offensive unit. So yeah, Johnny Wilson, he's graded out per PDF, which is number 1 in the country, 93.8. Once in single coverage, which is really good. And also, hey, shout out to Justin Shorter for UF. He's number 3 with 91.9. But just saw that PFF stat. So yeah, this goes to show you that he's a matchup problem. And once you throw within his radius, even though he may be covered, there's still a chance of him making the catch due to just how big his body is, catch radius, things like that, shielding the defensive back from getting around him, those type of things. But it was just soccer play overall. I don't think we was prepared. There was a lot of situations in which I think play calling could have been better. Like we had to play down to the 5. What Jordan Travis did, like a 30-yard pass to Pokey Wilson down to the 5. Had a call back, do the hold in 2nd and 20, like the 30 or so yard line, and we have a run play for the second down play. That's ridiculous. Your receivers are playing at a really high level. Jordan Travis is playing at a really high level. There's no way in hell we should be throwing the ball on 2nd and 20. Then on the flip end, just to show that it was a combination of it all. It was a screenplay to Lawrence toward Philly in the first half or the second half. I can't remember. Where if he catches that pass, it's a fucking touchdown. It's up to my green grass and like 4 or 5 blockers in front of him. He catch that ball, then it's a touchdown. You got a dog too, bro?
Man, I got a dog I don't fucking want. Damn nephew like dog, bro. Jesus.
Okay. But yeah, so about it. That just goes back to just not looking prepared overall. I don't know if it was the hurricane shit, especially themselves being ranked 4-0, everybody patting on the back, whatever it is. I feel like coaching, that all falls back on coaching. I don't think Norvell and guys did a good job of getting the guys prepared all around because the focus just wasn't there. Defensively, we got to get off the fucking field on 3rd downs, man. We got to get off the field on 3rd downs. Like, that's your money downs, crucial down situations. Sam Hartman was 100% passing on 3rd downs. And a lot of that shit was just dink and dunk because and it wasn't nothing spectacular on Sam Hartman's side of the situation. it's pretty much him giving taking what we giving him in regards to the opportunities. Like we was in his own coverage, and we don't understand situational football as far as the sticks. So the prime example, we have a 35, 36 situation. We got defensive backs 8 yards off and backpedaling. You're 11 yards off, and then you got a 5-yard cushion prior to the first down. That's deke and dunk. You're catching what you're doing now is just pretty much catching for extra yardage. So we're not playing the sticks. We're not making it hard for guys. We're pretty much giving up the first down. And I feel like that goes as far as just coaching in regards to development. You got to understand the game, understand where you're out in the field. You got to be. It's called football smarts, right? You got to understand. Hey, we have 7 yards to get. They're not going to run so many deep routes. There's certain routes you can
awareness.
run. Yeah, football awareness. That's all it is. So we have better football awareness. Shit, half the time we're getting off the field on the 18-play drive. They went 18 plays to seal the game to kick that field goal to make it a 10-point game. That can't happen. And then you have you got to make plays with opportunity to present itself. I talk about the Lawrence Sewell Philly play on offense. Go to the flip end on defense. You got 3rd and 7 or so. Greedy Vance, he has a chance to intercept the pass from Sam Hartman to kind of not necessarily seal the game, but flip momentum back in on our side. Excuse me. I think the interception would have us in plus territory in regards to their side. Give the offense some time to score that touchdown to tie the game. Instead, he gets mossed. He gets head top, as the kids say. He gets mossed or whatnot, and then gives up the first down. So kids love that shit, man. I'm talking about that moss is a thing in the past. I go to these part one, like you say, coach, you see it with your son as well.
The YouTube videos, man. You watch this shit all day. It's some young YouTube phenoms that go to all these different high schools and Pop Warner games and follow this stuff very closely. It's dope coaching. But yeah, they do a lot of that head top, man.
That's cool. But yeah, man. So this goes to show you that Greedy Vance played like we just weren't prepared all around, man, from a coaching aspect and a playing aspect. This wasn't focused when plays were presented presented for us to make. We just didn't make it. And also, we had 11 penalties, just undisciplined football. That's been uncharacteristic within this season, rather. Now, that has been an issue in the past with FSU, too many penalties and stuff like that. This season so far, it hasn't been the case, but it kind of reverted back to those old ways in regards to the Wake Forest game. So that has
year 3, baby.
Year
how
3.
you feel about that? Year 3.
Yeah, year 3. But like I said, I don't know if this is. I want to see how we respond in North Carolina State because we haven't played like that at all this season. So bad games happen within seasons. Crickets, how you respond. Now, if we see this again, it'll be a trend. Now, I'm not even. If we'd have lost the Wake Forest and played good football, it is what it is. But there was a lot of shit that was just bad overall in regards to seeing the product. So this NC State game will tell a lot in regards to how far along this team has come as far as, turning the corner in regards to reverting back to old ways, penalties, and things like that. Offensive line play is bad. I mean, once we lost our right tackle and our left tackle has been kind of downhill from there. We need Robert Scott back in the worst way. Darius Washington had a bad game. Let's call it what it is. That pass to Pokey Wilson that got us to the 5-yard line. He was the culprit for the holding penalty. This in pass blocking situation, it wasn't good. Just him playing left tackle, that's just not ideal for him. I'm not faulting him. He's just thrown into the situation because he's coming back from injury himself, where this whole summer he had a knee scope and he was pretty much out for the majority of the summer. So to kind of thrust him in that situation is kind of unfair to him, but it's just what we had as the offensive line room. So we need Robert Scott back in the worst way. He went down against Louisville, hasn't came back since then. So to see if he plays against North Carolina State will be pretty interesting. Jackson Turntine, the right tackle, did
they give him a timetable at all?
Yeah, he played. Well, no, sorry, not play. He dressed out against Wake Forest, and there was optimism that he could possibly play. Just didn't feel good in warm up, so they held him out. So this week could be the week that we do see him. He has been practicing, so that's a plus. I'm pretty sure it'll be another game time decision. So we'll see how that plays out. Turntine as the right tackle, he was getting whooped as well, man. So the left and right tackle just hasn't been good. So if we get Robert Scott back at the left tackle, we could possibly move Darius Washington to the right tackle, and that could give us a better output. But having Darius at left and Turntine at right has been a recipe for disaster the last couple of games. And there was a lot of talk about Wake Forest pass game, what they did. Sam Hartman was only had he attempted over 30 passes, only had 234 passing yards. Can we get better in the pass defense? Yes, the main issue was the rush defense. They had 171 rushing yards. That can't happen. The most they've had rushing since their week 1 opponent, and their week 1 opponent was the FCS team. So we got to get better within our D tackles, man. I know, and that's why I said that losing Fabian Lovett, I kind of downplayed it because I thought our backups were more capable. But that's been a huge loss. He's by far our best defensive player on the team. Even Robert Cooper, he's been AWOL, so to speak, since Fabian Lovett came out. So now I'm questioning, was Robert Cooper's production predicated off what Fabian Lovett was doing beside him? I mean, it's a fair question that need to be asked. So Robert Cooper has to have a bounce back game against NC State. Just have to see it. But those backup defense tackle, I know Malcolm Bray is hurt. He's dealing with a shoulder injury. Got hurt against Louisville, so he's still not 100% even though he's playing. And we just got to get better up front, man. Jordan Farmar, he got a lot more reps within the Wake Forest game. He played pretty well, so I can see his reps increasing within this North Carolina State game. And also, Azare Thomas, I know our secondary was a little banged up. Marion Cooper, he was out, and he was getting beat up. And I know, just our cornerbacks was having a pretty bad game overall. So we put Thomas in within like the second half, and shit, didn't miss a beat. Kid was all over the field, making plays, didn't really give up any passes down the field. So I can see his reps increasing as well, and possibly starting at some point in the season. I know he balled during camp, balled during the spring. The practices I went to, he flashed. So we know the type of talent he has. It just takes a while for these freshmen to kind of get it. Jared Verse, and not even, I don't want to just fault the defensive tackles, even the defensive ends. It was times going back to Sam Hartman, who was going for a first, second, and third read. There's no way in hell the quarterback should get on their third read against a Florida State defensive line, right? That shouldn't happen at all. It's just not what we're based upon and what the program is built on. We should have athletes at the defensive tackle position to get back there and cause disruption. So, and even with Jared Verse, once he was out, he's been out since the Louisville game. We didn't want to play him against Wake Forest, kind of a force to play him, play like 20 or so snaps, if that. And you can see the damn difference, the limited snaps he was in. He got a sack. He was able to pressure Sam Hartman and do things like that. So if we could get him healthy, I'm pretty sure he will play 100% this NC State game, and get Fabian Lovett healthy. I think our defense would go back to looking the way we figured it would look. And speaking of,
she look like a snack right now.
No lie, I do, especially the defensive front, the defensive line. They got to get better. The defensive tackles, man, got to get better. And I said it on the show, if you want to stop that slow mess, you have to be disciplined as far as your linebackers and DBs. But your front four, they got to cause hell. Like, that's the only way that should work. You got to cause hell. Got to get disrupted, because if you just let the slow mesh walking down, no pressure, they can do what the hell they want to as far as the offense. So if your defensive tackles and defensive end is cause havoc on Wake Forest offensive line, that throws everything else off. But we didn't do that, and we had the results. So you saw, I gave you the recipe to stop it, but we saw the recipe in regards to how it could be effective. Not getting a pass rusher, not being effective within the defensive line, and being disruptive. So, again, I think Wake Forest is probably the best offense we'll see this year. So that's a good thing. We'll have to see that type of offense again. But there's going to be some athletes moving forward in regards to O'Leary's a good quarterback, and then we got DJ the following game. And DJ is pretty much starting to look like the DJ that five-star DJ, the DJ we thought that'll follow Trevor Lawrence in regards to the quarterback footsteps at Clemson, because they've been putting out some pretty good quarterbacks within that program. But speaking of Jared Verse, he is tied for first place in the ACC with sacks with 4, and that's pretty impressive with him because he's only played 2.5 damn games basically. So he's getting a lot of notoriety. Todd McShay recently put him number 29 on his big board in regards to the NFL draft, so that'll be pretty interesting. So I want to give a shout out to Verse and how he's been playing in that, and also want to give a shout out to Coach Patuis, the defensive end coach. I mean, if this does hold up and he does, for whatever reason, keep ball and go to league and go first round, this would be 2 defensive ends back to back he had drafted first round, and it'll be 4 defensive ends overall within 3 years that's been drafted by from FSU during his watch. And Coach Pappy was the defensive coordinator at Nebraska back in the mid 2000s, and he coached Dominican Sue. So he has a resume of getting good stuff out of his defensive ends and defensive linemen. So that'll be another chick in his resume in regards to Jared Verse if he does get drafted. That's pretty much all I got.
Muted, Larry. If you're talking.
Oh, my bad. I was muted on the damn little machiney thingy. I don't even know.
All right, we got. No, you got to take real quick, because if so, we're going to go ahead and get David in from NC State. Go ahead.
Yeah, I had a joke, but it's no good. Now go ahead. Just go ahead and bring Dave in, man. Talk about this ass whooping that's on the way.
Woo. Hey, David, how you doing, man?
I'm good, man. So you guys, you're thinking it's going to be an ass whooping? That's what I'm hearing.
Oh man, I expect an abusive showing, man. I expect the Seminole tribe to ask for their name back. They're gonna have to be on the search like the Commanders, man. They got to come up with a whole new name, man.
It's gonna be
big numbers for Leary.
Going to be the Florida State football team for a couple years.
Yeah, until they figure it out.
Right.
Can I be honest though? I missed that. I thought the Washington football team was like a dope.
I liked it.
And then I was like, they're like, screw it. You're going to take our name. We'll just be the football team. And I was like, I kind of dig this. I hate the Commanders. I think the Commanders.
I hate the Commanders. I felt like the Red Tails wasn't. I thought the Red Tails would have been a pretty good name as well.
I like that one. And the Red Wolves.
Real quick. We have a. Go ahead, Larry. You got something?
No, I was gonna say Red Wolves and Red Hawks. But remember that dude bought all the names and he was trying to extort them basically for like all the names that got popular. I do too. Not mad at him, man. That was a genius plan.
Yeah, not mad at it.
Real cool. We have David Thompson on. David Thompson is the NC State beat writer for USA Today. David, how's it going?
Hey, man, just living life. Got to be happy about it.
Yes, sir. Happy to have you on, Dave. Happy to have you on. So let's talk about NC State a little bit. I mean, it's probably, I'm not going to say probably, this is probably the best era of NC State football that I can remember since Chuck Amato had you guys going for a little moment at some point in time. But you guys are pretty much rolling as a program right now. Let's talk about NC State for a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, what I've been saying basically this entire year during interviews is that this is the team that Dave Doran's been waiting for the last 10 years. I wouldn't say he's built this program from the ground up, but he's definitely taken it through some lean years. And this is a team with a lot of experience, a lot of talent, and, taking away what happened last week. This is, has seemed to be one of the better teams in the country. And I think what you hope to see from experience is that even when you have a setback like you do against Clemson, that you can come back and kind of finish things out, because a lot of the big goals are still at hand. A New Year's Eve bowl game. I don't know if winning an ACC title, that it kind of looks like Clemson may have wrapped that up, but this team has not won 10 games since 2002. That's still on the table. So, one loss doesn't end this season, but if Florida State can come up and surprise them in Raleigh, then there's a lot of problems all of a sudden.
Yeah, so let's talk about O'Leary a little bit. He's been a really good quarterback for you guys in the past couple of years, still on track with that. Just talk about what he brings to the table and just the luxury of having him as a quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, really the obviously the experience, but kind of the composure. He's a guy who I know this is kind of something that people say about a lot of quarterbacks, don't get too high or low, but he really is a guy that regardless of, he's got a short memory. He's like a goldfish, right? After 10 seconds, he kind of forgets what happens, moving on to the next play. A dude who's learned a lot from his experience, has really over the summer kind of took his talent to a new level. But I think if you look at him statistically, he doesn't look as strong as he was last year, but he's lost, losing Emeka Emezi was kind of his big threat.
He's gone.
Yeah, he's gone. They still have Thayer Thomas, but the big question mark for this offense has been the lack of development with the other wide receivers, and not having Trent Penix at tight end down the middle has definitely been an issue. But I think that's the big thing that you see is, you were ready to see this offense take the next step, and you've seen them stall in a lot of, big time situations. The defense is great, but the offense really hasn't been there. So I think Leary has progressed in his talent, but it's been hard to see because the guys around him haven't stepped up in the way we expected.
Yeah, speaking of Thomas, he's the guy at receiver. Like I said, other guys had pretty much stepped up, but Thomas is the guy at receiver. He's the guy that pretty much worries me as far as, focusing on to kind of take out. I feel like if FSU can take him out of the game, they have a good, well, not to say a good chance of winning the game. I feel like we're going to win the game regardless. But I feel like they have a good chance in regards to slowing down the offense in regards to NC State. If we can take him out, that does kind of handicap O'Leary, like you just said, in regards to other options.
So
hit out on him or something. What you mean,
so wait, so we got Larry on is saying that the Seminoles are going to have to give back their mascot. But CJ, you think Florida State's going to win this game? I didn't know there's going to be so much tension between you guys here.
All right, so check this out, man. So
you can't see. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, we got a Miami fan and a FSU fan and a UF fan. all together on one podcast.
Yeah.
Oh, well, okay, that makes more sense. I didn't realize that. All right.
Yeah, I'm a Gator. I cover the Gators on the show. My guy Larry Young covers University of Miami. You see green screen, so the audience that's listening,
I forgot.
David sees green screens and has no idea what's going on if he's not following this podcast. But yeah, we cover the Big Three programs in the state of Florida, and so it's like a rivalry show. A lot of banter and disrespectful things happen.
I mean, hold on, let me see. I could bring. I got like a little fat head of myself. I could bring in. Or something. I'm a fan of myself. I guess.
I like that. I need to get one of them.
Yeah, right. That's cool.
Are you married? Because like bringing like a date in and having a fat head of yourself and your partner got to be.
Can you imagine? Like I'm married to myself. I'm married to the game. You know,
I'm married to the game.
My girlfriend made it for me. I've actually got like during the Zoom era, I have a collection of all this stuff, and I used to bring it a little closer so it looked like, you see at ESPN, everyone's got their great background. I used to have a pretty good one, and this was always the talk piece. So like, is that you? And I'd be like, yeah, that's me.
Real quick, we went golfing, so we had a golf tournament in the past, roll-up golf tournament. My man Chris Leet was out there. He had a golf ball with his own face on them.
I love it.
But as we're on the course looking for our balls, we keep finding his balls with his face on. It was like, yo, what? This guy got a
crazy sentence. Crazy sentence. We're looking for our balls, but we can't find his balls.
That is a wild
with
sentence.
His face on it. That is.
All right, whatever. All right, go, David. It gets childish on here, my man.
This is what I was looking forward to. So I apologize. What was the question?
Yeah, so I feel like FSU offensively or defensively can kind of handicap NC State's offense if they can limit Thomas' production a little bit.
Yeah, I think absolutely. I mean, if you go back to the Clemson game, Thomas had 16 targets and no one else on that team had more than 7. Yeah, I mean,
that's a stat.
I talked to him this week and he's like, man, I slept 3 hours that day. I got my ass kicked. He got his ass kicked, and he's a really tough guy. He's someone not everyone knows, but he was a walk-on in 2017, had to earn his scholarship in 2018, and now has become, statistically one of the best wide receivers in NC State. Really kind of epitomizes that program. Like they don't really get the 5 stars. They have to find the diamonds in the rough, and he worked his way to this place. So he's really earned what he's gotten. But yeah, right now, defensive coordinators have to be keying on him and saying, okay, beat us with someone else. It's what you do in basketball. You're like, we're going to double team the best guy, beat us with somebody else. So that's definitely something they're going to do. What I look in this game is I think if NC State can run the ball with Demi Sumo and Jordan Houston and slow things down, have these long possessions, make sure the defense has a break, I think they do win this game somewhat convincingly. But I think if Florida State can, if they can get them off the field quickly, get that defense tired, then I think anything could happen. I think NC State's a good team that can lose to anyone. And Dave Dorn said earlier this week, he was like, this is the best Florida State team I've seen in a little while. And he also said last year he thought Jordan Travis was an athlete being a quarterback, and now he thinks he's a quarterback being a quarterback. So I think he appreciates the development of Jordan Travis and kind of what Mike Norvell has done with this program in the last couple of years. So I think NC State is a better team, but I'm never 100% sure what version of them we're going to get. So who knows?
And Dave, you brought up a good point in regards to NC State rushing attack, because overall it hasn't really been too great, right? But on the flip end, FSU's run defense within the past couple of weeks after losing Fabian Lovett and having Jared Verse limited, it hasn't been pretty well. So that was another one of my takes. I feel that's going to be an interesting battle in regards to who kind of wins that battle, the FSU's run defense or you guys run offense, because I know we want to stop the run and you guys are going to want to establish the run. So that's going to be an interesting battle in itself. And it was pretty funny that you mentioned that, because that was going to be my next point.
Well, that's what I do, man. I anticipate. That's why I'm so good at it. No, I'm just kidding. I think Jordan Houston is junior running back who, has breakout speed, is pretty talented. But Demi Sumo is a sophomore this is basically his freshman season, who is just, they're kind of just, seeing the layers of this guy, of the way he breaks tackles, his speed, his vision, his tenacity. I mean, the guy is, I think, a potentially special player and still sort of waiting for that big breakout game. And I think this could be it. But yeah, I think with the way that this offense has been playing, they really do need to show that. Although Devin Leary is ACC preseason player of the year, a guy with a lot of expectations, I think they need to revert to a little bit more well-rounded, a little bit more to the run game, and I expect to see that.
He said, that guy's last name is Sumo.
Yeah,
that's we had some interesting names because we had a North Carolina guy on here earlier, and it was Duck Smoke. I don't know if you guys saw it, but there was a basketball player. His last name was Ho You Fat.
Yesterday I saw that.
You caught that one, man. That was crazy. He said, the commentator said, "I don't want any tweets. That is that man's last name. Ho You Fat for 3."
Is he a kicker?
No, it was basketball. He pulled up. Yeah, he pulled up for 3.
He shot a 3.
His last name is Hoyou. I'm not FAT. I want to say
literally FAT.
Well, yeah. So Dimi Sumo, and his last name's Kargbe, and he is from I believe Libya originally, from Africa. Has got some African roots there, and he's actually he just went by Dimi Sumo for a while, but his mother's last name is Kargbe, and he added that this year to sort of like pay respects to her. So
that's nice, man.
Just a little backstory.
I like that. No. What we like to do here.
All right, Dave, let's kind of talk about the defense a little bit. As you just said, it's pretty good. Top 15 ranked defense. Defense line is pretty good. You guys got Corey Durden on the defense line, former FSU Seminole. So let's talk about the defense and some of the
defense top 15.
Yeah, currently there. If you look at the defense list right now, we're ranked 33rd in defense, and they're ranked 15 in defense.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'll say this just because I know you as the FSU guy, probably my favorite interview on the entire team is Cyrus Fagan.
And let me give you a crazy story, right? So, Cyrus is from Daytona Beach, Florida. I played football at Bethune-Cookman University. His dad was our chief of staff football operations. Cyrus, I seen Cyrus grow up from a damn kid to what he is now. He was around the program all the time, things like that. His dad is Jeff Fagan. He still works on staff at Bethune-Cookman football. So it's crazy. I know Cyrus from a kid on up, man. Small world.
Oh, I meant to ask y'all, with everything with the hurricane, you guys doing all right? Houses, homes, family, all that stuff?
Yeah, appreciate you asking, man. So I'm in Tallahassee, so of course we weren't affected at all by the hurricane.
Yeah.
Silk is in West Palm. They were pretty much on the East Coast, but in Larion, he still enjoys it at this point in time. But
yeah, I was supposed to move down there actually the week of.
You would have got hit too. You would have got hit.
I dodged that bullet there.
Southwest Florida was smashed. So prayers out to them. I know my people in Volusia County and Daytona Beach. It was a tropical storm once it got in that area. In Larion, that's the part of the area you would have been affected by. And it was still flooded within the Daytona Beach area. I know my university took a lot of damage. So yeah, the state of Florida is pretty beat up right now, especially within Southwest and Central Florida.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So yeah, I'm glad you guys are doing all right. That stuff's always scary. I remember I left Texas the moment like a week before Harvey hit, and I was living like the Beaumont, Houston area, and I left a newsroom, and they were like, I moved here up to North Carolina, and my girlfriend was still there. They were without electricity, and shit is scary. So I'm glad you guys are doing all right, but. To answer your question about the defense, it's the strong suit. I usually don't, the using the metrics and the numbers are definitely an indication of how good a team is. But I think, the strength of this team is in the linebacking core with Peyton Wilson, Drake Thomas, and Isaiah Moore. I do actually think that the secondary, we'll see. Cyrus didn't play a lot against Clemson, went out. I think some of the issues they've had have been in the secondary and getting beat. And also that defensive line, with Corey Durden has really improved, but with their sort of that 3-3-5 that they play, they're not a team that sacks the quarterback a lot. Which is always something that what I don't like about the 3-3-5 is I feel like it doesn't pressure the quarterback as much as you need to do in sort of like the new era of football. But the Florida State is going to have a hard time scoring and moving the ball against NC State. I mean, even Clemson for 3 quarters had trouble against this team. I mean, that is the bread and butter. And I think for Wolfpack fans, the biggest disappointment is that you've got a defense that can win the ACC and maybe get you in the college football playoffs, and you've got an offense that is lagging behind. So I think the big battle is going to be, how does the Florida State defense handle the NC State offense? So we could have, man, you drinking wine over there? That's my guy. Good for you, man. Look at that. That's what's up. All right,
you got to come back. This is the vibes of the show.
I was about to say, man, like the vibes are immaculate here. I could have done a whole different thing if I knew this.
Yeah. Next time we know, Dave.
We'll have you again, man.
Okay.
These two fellas are loose to you guys all the time, so we'll bring you back. I got some Riesling on the way. I couldn't find my.
Are they on our permanent? Are they on our permanent schedule? It's not NC State, is it? Nah.
No,
it's not NC State. But you do cover Duke as well, right, David?
I don't really. I only cover Duke basketball. I don't do
God bless you. I like Duke. I'm a Duke basketball fan. So
yeah, I mean, how can you not? Man, last year was my
first. He like a lot of teams. Don't pay him no mind.
No, I don't. I like all
his closet looks nuts. His closet is like sprinkled out all over the United States map, man.
What's wrong with that? And I've been down.
I didn't say anything was wrong with it. I just said what it was, man.
No, but you trying to imply.
As long as you're not change, as long as you don't change who you like, that's it. As long as you're not like, oh, you know who I'm a real big fan of, the Chiefs now. I'd be like,
hell no, 49ers. You're not mad.
If LeBron go to the Chiefs, I consider it.
Well, yeah, obviously. Hey, man, I'm a lifetime Cowboys fan, so I can't handle that whole 49ers thing, but we're garbage, so what can I do? Riding with Cooper Kupp. What are you going to do?
So
what it is.
And this, you kind of got my attention saying the secondary is the weak point. I feel like probably the best unit for FSU so far this season has been their receivers, and of course the development of Jordan Travis, hit from going from the years past, how he's been developing over the years. So that could be something that FSU could get going. But my issue with that is the pass pro. But you also just said that you guys are pretty with the 3-3-5. It's kind of hard to get pressure, so it's going to be interesting. I got a couple more takes for you, David, then we get up out of here. What do you think? What does NC State has to do to win the game, and what does FSU have to do to win the game?
NC State needs to move the ball. I don't know. These questions, I'm always like, they got to score more points than the other team, I think NC State's defense, which they do well, create turnovers, short field for the offense. I think they have to. What I said earlier, they need to develop a run game, and it needs to be run first, pass second. I think, and then I think for Florida State, it's almost a similar thing. I think they have to force NC State into mistakes, and I think Jordan Travis just kind of needs to ball out, honestly. Probably have like his best game, and yeah, that's what I would say. I think Jordan Travis has to play out of his mind, and I think the defense needs a couple turnovers. Yeah, that's well. I'll go with that.
All right, this is my last take, and we get your score prediction. Let's talk about the atmosphere. It's going to be night game and Raleigh road. I know we have some weird situations playing, night games in Raleigh within the past at FSU. Let's talk about the atmosphere and how rowdy that crowd will be.
Well, I got to give them credit. I mean, their atmosphere is pretty damn good. I thought it was one of the best I had seen until I was in Clemson last week.
Oh yeah, that's
different. Man, that hype train, and it's an outside press box in Clemson, so you're a part of that. And I was like, and I can't, in the fourth quarter they put on like Kid Cudi, or is it Kid Cudi? Not Kid Cudi. The Pursuit of Happiness. Is it Kid Cudi?
Oh.
No, it's
yeah.
Is it Kid Cudi? And I know everything.
Yeah, big Cudi fan over here, bro.
But that song came on, and I was like 10 years younger. I was like, "Let's go!" Like, I mean, it was hype as hell. It was like hard not to get into it. But NC State will have the same kind of thing, especially when the lights are up there. NC State is a very, very passionate fan base, and they've been through a lot, and they still show up, and it will, 8 p.m. kickoff, it's going to be lit for sure. But if Florida, it's also a fan base with any fan base that can be taken out. If Florida State can sustain long drives, make NC State make a few mistakes. I mean, the tailgating there is good. So if it's not a good game, they'll leave at halftime and they're not going to come back. So I
just go back and check the vibes.
Yeah, I mean, I would say, it'll have a similar feel maybe to the LSU game a little bit. Kind of what it was like there in the Superdome. So yeah, I'm sure this will probably be one of the.
I skipped out on that shit show. Yeah. Went in. No.
It'll probably be one of the more hyper venues for sure.
Okay. All right, Dave. Let's get your score prediction. What you got?
Score prediction. Let's see. So last year was 28-14, correct?
Yes. Mackenzie Milton. Well, that game was so crazy. We killed by the damn flu. No, seriously.
That was a weird game, man.
Yeah, it was.
Flu, Mackenzie Milton, cleats.
Man, you know
what? Back to the white jerseys.
What I remember about that game is I flew into Jacksonville the night before, and my dumbass had scheduled my hotel. I thought it was for that night, but I actually did it for like 2 weeks later because I'm just dumb like that.
Oh, you're out of gas then. And so you're out of gas.
So I showed up, and it was also the week I think Jacksonville was playing Tampa Bay or something like that. And so I got to the thing, and I was like, hey, can I get a hotel, or can I get a room? This is when I reserved it. She's like, oh, honey, you messed up. And I was like, are there any rooms anywhere? She's like,
done that before.
Yeah, it's the worst. And I was like, I didn't have a car
confirmation. I know you lying. My shit right here. Hold on one second.
No, totally. I was like, what can I do? And she was like, hey, the only thing we have is like the penthouse room, And I was like, all right. Like, what are you gonna do? And then I was like, thank you, USA Today. So I had a nice night.
I was about to say, you're charging on the card, baby.
I was just like, what are you gonna do? So
they got nothing left, boss. What you want me to do here, huh?
So I'm gonna say I think NC State's going to have a little bit of a hangover, a slow start, but I think eventually the offense figures it out and the defense, keeps them in the game. So I'm going to say 27-17 NC State. I think there'll be some field goals. I think there'll be some stops, but I don't think it's going to be a crazy high scoring game or anything.
Let's go, big Wolfpack. So, what time y'all play?
We got the nooner, man. Big brunch vibes, man.
I think we can make it down, man. I feel like I might go down.
Who's Florida playing this week? I don't even.
We got Mizzou, man.
Oh, well, easy dub.
Yeah, I feel the same thing.
No, Mizzou got solid defense, man.
Nah, I'm about to say Mizzou.
And they got some playmakers. I'm not
trying to give them a game.
If they play at home, then yeah, but on the road, nah.
Fair enough.
David, we about to run down on the people, David. That's what we about to do, man.
I just want to know because I was thinking maybe we could go down to Raleigh, man.
Who? Yeah. Well, actually, I live in Asheville.
Saturday?
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't actually live in Raleigh or Durham.
Asheville's beautiful, man.
You stay by the mountains.
That's what I'm saying.
Let me tell you what Dave just told us on the low is that he getting money.
Yeah,
Asheville is not cheap, Jack.
Well, I mean, let me say this. I'm renting. I'm renting.
Let's go, baby. Let's go.
But I'm making it work.
I love Asheville.
We're doing all right.
I love Asheville. If y'all never been to Asheville and you're a beer enthusiast, you're missing out. Go out there, man. They got some great breweries out there. One thing I like about Asheville is like there's a segment of the town where everybody just makes everything. The soap, the dog food,
River Arts District, baby.
Yeah, they don't. Yeah, they ain't really with all that going to Walmart type stuff, bro. I went and got
that's where I got this
donuts.
Made,
Yeah,
oh, really?
Bro, I got 6 donuts there, and that lady said $24. I said no, I only had 6. Yeah, $24. Like, oh,
yeah, they don't haggle in Asheville, man. They're like, that's what it is. I'm sorry.
I just thought I thought she had the wrong order, but they were good. They were very good.
They got a St. Ives dispensary out there.
St. Ives.
So here's the thing, though. Right about an hour from Asheville is the Cherokee Reservation, and they got like a huge casino and all that. And so when I used to work for the Asheville paper, I'd go out there and like do some stores in Cherokee, and they've been out there growing marijuana for like years now, getting ready for it. So like,
we got to get up in there.
Yeah, so it's happening. It's gonna happen.
This is 410 friendly.
Not that I know anything about that or anything, but
right.
Rumors.
Nobody listen to this show, man. You could be honest on here, man. Papers Papers or cigars? What do you prefer? Papers.
My
man.
It is.
Man.
Paper
Yeah,
planes,
that's what I'm
baby.
talking about, Dave.
Paper planes, baby. Hey,
Yeah.
you on the right show. You are on the right show, man. The
Right
roll
on,
up
I feel
ain't. Yeah.
So give us your score prediction.
500.
Man.
Oh, my bad.
Nah, man. I think it's gonna be a close game. Like you said, I like the LSU type game. Give me 27. We called the beginning of this 3-game stretch for Florida State skid row. So you're in the middle of the skid, man. Nice little skid down these underwears, David.
Hershey Highway, baby.
Hershey Highway right here. So I got this score, low scoring affair, 24-27, NC State.
All right.
Baby.
I got a bigger gap than that. Pause.
Whoa.
Yeah. I paused it. I think NC State gets the offense revved up a little bit. I think the defense for FSU right now is reeling just a little bit. I think this is a game where Devin Leary kind of reminds people why he was in those conversations a little bit earlier, and it gets going a little bit. Yeah, I mean he was discussed in that first round conversation, so I think this will be the game where you kind of be like, hey, I'm not trash. You know, Clemson's just pretty damn good, and I don't have the receivers, but I think you can get it going a little bit. So give me NC State 34, Florida State 24.
Ooh, wow.
All right, man.
That'd be a fun game. I'm into that.
Yeah, it would be. No. When if it's a 34-24 on the other end, then it'll be a fun game.
It's gonna be fun.
All right, so give me FSU 26, NC State 24. I think Jordan Travis does what you says.
Now that's fun game.
Receivers can. I feel like the receivers can get some stuff going. I think the defense gives up a lot. Well, not a lot. They give up some, but they don't give up. They don't break. Let's put it that way. They kind of have a bounce back game. I feel like Wake Forest. Probably going to be the toughest offense that FSU plays all year, just based off what they do. So I think they kind of bounce back a little bit. That's a pretty good offense. I think they bounce back this week against NC State.
You probably like, how in the hell he get to 26? But if you remember, they don't have a kicker.
Yeah.
So
I
was looking at that today. I was like,
game like
4 of 9 or something. He was 9.
Yeah, he's terrible. He's mixed extra points as well, man. And also most of those, like 4 to 9, like most of that stuff is within like 45 yards, within 40 yards. It's just not.
And that's not very. It's not very FSU like. One thing FSU normally has is a damn good kicker. Yeah. They may have blown some key kicks against Miami in the past, but that might be their only game where they do something like that. That is weird for FSU not to have a pretty clutch kicker, man.
They've been inconsistent since Avocado brothers.
That kind of started the slide. Yeah,
it did. But Dave, let the people know where they can find you at.
Right here, man. Right in Nashville. No,
I'm about to say you joined the network.
Yeah. You could find me at Twitter at DaveTH89 or on usatoday.com with NC State. But if you're more local, the Asheville Citizen Times, Fayetteville Observer, Wilmington newspaper. I don't remember. I'm not doing a good job of selling myself here. I can't even remember the papers I write for.
It's all good, man. That's what I say.
Yeah, just catch me on Twitter at DaveTH89. That's the best place to find me. That's where I'm at all the time.
No doubt, man. I'm about to follow you right now, man. I like this guy.
Dave, it's been a pleasure, man. You definitely got to bring it back.
Yeah, man. Anytime, man. If you guys want to do a basketball or whatever, I like talking ball, so it's always fun.
Already, man. We'll stay in contact, man. Appreciate it.
All right, y'all. Take
appreciate
care.
you, Dave. Take care.
All right, man. Take it easy, bro.
Yeah, we're gonna keep it moving, man. We got more. I think we got my man Tucker Franklin in the tuck.
We already got him in.
Yeah, we gonna after CJ wrap up this North Carolina State, his final little breakdown of that.
Nah, that's all. We good.
We good.
All right, real quick.
Pound that like
button. Come on, let's talk about it. Y'all make sure y'all like, subscribe. Super chat can get you if you want to hit us up live during the show. Send us that super chat. It from 99 cents on up. We'll respond to whatever you want us to respond to. Give you a shout out, answer a question, whatever the case may be.
My clothing sizes, any of that, man. Anything y'all want to talk
about? Hey, you pay, you get to say.
I like that.
Make sure you go and rate us 5 stars on any of the streaming services you use to listen to us on. As for those who may not know, Spotify does have a rating system now. They probably had it for about 6 months. They didn't have it before. Apple, obviously, any streaming service that you use to listen to us, please take the time to rate us. It goes a long way to help get your favorite show or one of your favorite shows out there to the rest of the people, man. Before we get into the UF chat, we got a couple of super chats.
Go ahead. Got Alex. Appreciate the donation, Alex. Noticed Travis's knee brace was off this week in practice. Don't be surprised. Norvell will have him running more. Go knows. That's a good point, Alex. The knee brace was off in practice. And also want to bring up another injury note in regards to injury. Fabian Lovett, saw him in practice as well. The boot was off of Fabian Lovett off his foot. So he should be coming back pretty soon. Hopefully, that's good news for the defensive line.
Can he play this week?
No, he's not playing this week. I doubt this week. Yeah. The word I was hearing is the Clemson game, so having the boot off kind of ball as well for that game.
Right. Yeah. Bulls,
all right. Shout out to Braxton Davis for the super chat. Appreciate the donation. Said NC State by 50. Laughing face.
Shout out Terrible Mistakes, man. You our family, man. We love you, little bro. You don't know nothing about nothing, but we enjoy having you around.
For the fans who may not know who Braxton, he's one of the interns on the show, also a Gator fan. Helps us out with some producing behind the scenes and also social media. Tucker, what it do, man? You got a nice little setup right there. You like a real podcast,
dope, man.
Tucker,
I like
right?
Thank you. Yeah, appreciate it. Yeah, I'm doing good out here in Missouri, living the best we can. Yeah, man. Appreciate you having me on.
Man, we appreciate you for coming on. You from KC Sports Network, but also co-host on Mizzou That's Who podcast.
I like that one.
Yes, sir. Yeah, we got the Mizzou That's Who podcast on the KC Sports Network, covering Mizzou for the Kansas City side of things. You know, St. Louis big in Missouri, Kansas City big in Missouri, so we're kind of covering both ends.
Right.
So, yeah.
All right, man. You got Elijah Drinkwitz is coming back to Gainesville. Last time I seen this guy, he was trolling my team with costumes, man.
I remember.
Got real disrespectful last year, man. But we get you guys in the swamp this year at noon. How you feeling about this matchup, man? Your defense seems to be playing okay football, to be honest with you. Some question marks about quarterback and the offense, but how you feeling?
You know, it's one of those. It's been one of those years. It's been a very up and down year already. You know, Eli's definitely done some things in the past that make you cringe a little bit. That was one of them when he goes and wears costumes up to press conferences, and you just got to take the good with the bad. You want to see him win a little bit more games on the field if he's going to do that stuff. So that's kind of Missouri fans are a little uneasy with him. I won't say he's on the hot seat, but he's got to start winning some games if he's going to act like that. I think is kind of what a lot of people have been saying. But this matchup here, you know, an 11 a.m. kickoff, you know, for the Central Time Zone, 11 a.m. kickoff in the swamp. That's a weird time, man. I mean, especially going down into the swamp, it's going to be an interesting game. Defense coming off a really good performance against Georgia. Me personally, I didn't expect him to play that well against Georgia. I think that was one of those things where I was kind of surprised by it. They had a near sellout crowd. It was the first home night SEC game Mizzou has had in quite some time, just because they haven't really been relevant in quite some time. So they get the number one team coming into Columbia, pack the place up, got the guys hyped up. I think some of the shenanigans from Georgia pregame where they walk through their stretching lines and just act like they run the place did kind of get that team up. But a big question for this game is going to be, what gets them up for a new game in the swamp, right? Like you're not going to have Florida walking through their stretching lines to get them fired up. They've got to have something that can get them up.
Ain't it?
Oh, yeah.
That's crazy.
Incredibly disrespectful.
That's what we do, baby. Stay the GA, man.
I know you're gonna be confused, man. Ignore that guy. He jumps bandwagon.
We
just talk about his fan closet. It's everywhere, man. Like
disrespectful, dog.
That's crazy. I had no idea they did that. That's
crazy. Yeah, they had some scuffling going on pregame, man. Mm-hmm. And Mizzou came, like he said, fired them up. They played some good defense and made it a football game.
Yeah, one of the guys who did play really good, Tyrone Hopper. I'm sure you're familiar with Tyrone Hopper. Played in Florida last year.
Man, we miss him.
I'm sure I'll say this: he didn't play as good as he is this year at Florida. He looks like a completely different player for Missouri. I was impressed with Tyrone when he played last year against Missouri.
Right.
But that was his best game he played all year. He doesn't look the same. He's turned into kind of a dude for Mizzou on that Mizzou defense, which great to see because, man, that Mizzou defense last year couldn't stop a nosebleed. They were battered. They could not stop a run. They allowed 200 and some rushing yards to Central Michigan in one of their first games of the season, and it didn't get any better from there. So
I think you
Mizzou had a
guys
big
added
test.
you guys added 10 transfers to that defensive side of the ball since last year, correct?
Yeah, so added a transfer at every single position. So that going into the defensive year, you had a transfer in competition at every single position on that defense, which was huge because you had turnover. Steve Wilkes went to the NFL, no longer the defensive coordinator. They elevate Blake Bakers from quarterbacks coach up to the defensive coordinator, and he switched him to a 4-2-5, much more of an NFL type style defense, which is kind of weird when you talk about Steve Wilkes not really running that style of defense. But comes up Blake Baker, 4-2-5. They've got the dudes up front now. A lot of those transfers coming on that defensive line and really sturdying up that defensive line.
Blake Baker of Miami fame. Okay, all right. Just jotting down some notes, jotting down a few notes. All right, continue, Brother Silk. Go ahead and say what you got to say, my man.
All right, I appreciate that, Brother Larry Young. Cook has completed 63% of his passes for 997 yards, 5 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. His favorite target and the guy that just got included into the Blitnikoff Award watch list, Dominique Lovett, seems to be his main go-to guy. How do you feel about that offense? I know they've been struggling a little bit. Do you think they can figure it out? I know he's been progressing. He's been struggling, but he also has been getting a little better. How you see them squaring up against a iffy secondary at the University of Florida right now, if I was to be honest?
Well, the tough part for Brady is he's got to have time to throw. The offensive line not really giving him that time to throw right now. The offensive line is pretty shoddy for Missouri. They did run the ball really well against Georgia. Surprisingly ran the ball really well against Georgia because they're not as good of a running line as they are a pass blocking line, which isn't saying anything because the offensive line has left a lot to be desired this year. And if you look at the talent that they have at the skill positions, I mean, they've got talented wide receivers. They've got Luther Burden. They've got Dom Lovett. They've got Mookie Cooper, who was a transfer from Ohio State. I mean, they've got dudes who can play wide receiver. They've got running backs. They have Nate Pete, who's their top leading rusher right now, who is a transfer from Stanford. They got the Division II transfer from Truman State University here in Missouri. Cody Schrader, he's running some running back, and they have Eli Young on their roster as well. So they've got some dudes at the skill positions. They just have to get the ball into their hands, and that's been the hardest part for this Missouri offense is getting enough time for Brady Cooper to throw the Brady Cook. Getting him to throw the ball to Mookie Cooper or Dom Lovett or get it in the hands of Nate Pete. Some of those guys that when you put them in space, they're playmakers. They can make plays in space. That's why what I want to see from this team is a lot more quick passes, slants, bubble screens, stuff like that. You got to get the ball into the hands of, Luther Burden, the 5-star kid that is the first one since like Dorial Green Beckham came to Mizzou. There's a lot of expectations coming in for him, and he's kind of feeling those expectations right now. So want to see him get a little bit more involved in the offense, but it's been hard because Brady just hasn't had time to throw, and his deep ball accuracy is not necessarily the best either. So
now you mentioned the fans being a little at unease with my man Drinkwitz. I remember watching early in the season, a couple games ago, and watching the Auburn game and thinking like, man, they should have won that game, and their fans got to be like livid at the conservatives. It was very conservative, I thought, going down and impressed that game. What do you think about the play calling, and what do you think they need to do differently going on the road to Florida?
They got to be aggressive, obviously. I think Drinkwitz kind of played not to lose that game, as you could kind of see kind of in his play calling there. They get that big play down to like the 1.5 yard line or something like that, the 3 yard line, and they decide to knee it, center it up for now. Granted, albeit Harrison Meeves was an All-American kicker, and you saw him against Georgia hit some pretty big kicks. So I don't knock Eli Drinkwitz for trusting that guy. He's probably the best offensive player right now in terms of production on Missouri's team. Hate to say that if you're a Missouri fan, to say your kicker's been I think he scored the most points on Missouri this season as well. So I understand wanting to kick the field goal, trusting that guy. He's been there for a long time. I think he's a 4-year guy, an All-American kicker. I get that. But, man, I'd like to see a couple shots at the end zone, especially with 50 seconds left in the game. You got plenty of time to give a shot at the end zone, run the ball a couple times to really ensure that you do win that game. And if I'm Auburn, I probably let Missouri score to give myself a chance to try to win that game. So that's probably part of the thought process that goes into there. But going into this season, Eli Drinkwitz said he was going to be incredibly aggressive this year, and then all of a sudden you just didn't see that. And I think that's kind of the frustrating part of it is he's saying one thing, doing another thing, and we've seen that a couple times with Eli where he's saying all of these things and it's not quite adding up on the field. Nothing is adding up on the field wise. I mean, I think he's pretty darn close to 500 in his career at Missouri. You'd like to see a little bit more production from him, especially with such good recruiting classes that he has. He's proven to be a really good recruiter. Whatever he's telling these high school kids is working. He's getting kids on campus. Now, this team here is his first team that's like fully his team because, everything with like the COVID restricted year and everything like that. He's finally got guys who want to play for him on this football team. So there was a lot of expectations going into this year to kind of be more over 500. But those first few games, man, they get absolutely curb stomped by K-State. That was an ugly game. Never looked like they were ever going to win it. And then follow it up with a very lackluster performance against a FCS Abilene Christian. I know a lot of Missouri fans were upset by that. We're upset by what they saw. The team that just didn't look motivated, and that's kind of a big thing. But the Georgia loss surprisingly turned some tides for some people. I mean, it was still a loss, which I mean so shows you how down bad Missouri is a little.
Rubbing their belly out there, nice little close
yeah.
I like it.
Yeah, you win. We left for 55 minutes of the game. That's close.
We
enough.
can
That's
lose with the best of them.
Yeah,
I sent out a tweet, man. You guys could have won that game as well. You just got to go get through.
Sure.
I thought he got conservative. You're playing Georgia, like this is King Kong. They just walk through your warm ups, go for sevens, man. He was kicking too many field goals, in my opinion. He should have been more aggressive. Defense is playing good football. What do you got to lose? Everybody expect you to lose this game. I thought he should have been more aggressive, but nonetheless, how do you see Florida? Go ahead, CJ. You got something?
Yeah, just a real quick question, Tucker. I know it was some concerns in regards to Luther Burden, 5-star receiver you guys got from St. Louis. He had, I think, some, what these kids do on social media and stuff like that. Talk about what you're hearing as far as Luther and how he's feeling within the program and stuff like that.
Yeah, from what I've heard from people close to him, he's never thought of transferring. I think he's more frustrated with the fact that people think that he's going to transfer. And that's pretty. I can understand as a kid, 18-year-old kid, people think that you're gonna leave your hometown school to go somewhere else, just chase a ring, almost chase some NIL money, chase whatever it is. But I understand where he's coming from. He cleared all of his Instagram and said like patiently waiting. A lot of grown men freaked out about an 18-year-old clearing his Instagram. But it's a day. Yeah, it's the day and age we live in, man. People freak out about that stuff all the time. But I don't think there's anything to that. He is frustrated. He's not getting quite the involvement that he anticipated his freshman year. But if you look at him compared to some of the other top receivers in his class, he's right on pace with yardage and stuff. He's had a couple injuries. He's been banged up a little bit. Nothing that's been too serious, but something that could restrict maybe his usage a little bit. He got 0 touches in the Auburn game, which was kind of a big deal. And that's when he took down everything. He didn't have any touches. Drinkwitz did say he got hurt in that game. Now, did he actually get hurt in the game, or is Drinkwitz just kind of covering for himself, saying like, instead of like, oh, I didn't call any touches for him because he was hurt, or is he saying that he's hurt? That's been speculated out there too. Yeah, if he's actually hurt. He is a very dynamic punt returner. The first time he returned a punt in his college career, he took it back for a touchdown. Granted, it was against Abilene Christian, but the dude's dynamic with the ball in his hands. Mizzou just has to get the ball into his hands, and that's been the hardest part, trying to figure out that quarterback. They had Sam Horn come into this class with him, who is a guy who's also playing baseball at Mizzou.
Sam Horn. He was from Georgia. He was the quarterback for Travis Hunter.
Yes, he was.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Travis Hunter, Jackson State fan?
Jackson State.
Yep. So shout out Dion. Shout out Dion. Shout out Jackson. And shout out those guys over there. They got themselves a wagon, man. They're good. I like watching them. I also like it when when his son refers to him as 2, like he refers to himself as number 2. I love that.
Yeah, man. The chip off the whole block, bro.
Yeah,
big
big fans of what they're doing over there, man. God, it's remarkable. Dion, we love you, bro. We really do. Anyways, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt. Go ahead. Y'all continue on, man.
Now you good, man. So what do you feel like is Florida's defense is a little sweet, in my opinion. We're missing guys like Tyron Harper at the linebacker position. Out of all the transfers we lost Chris Bogle, we lost Tyron Harper, and we lost Diabate. The one guy that would make this defense a lot better if we had Harper and Ventrell Miller in the middle. But you guys have him on your defense. What do you see offensively that you think you guys match up well or not well? Like, how do you see the matchup?
Again, I am a little worried about that offensive line. I just don't know if they're an SEC caliber offensive line, if they can hang with big dogs that, the Floridas that but they certainly prove they can hang with the Georgia defensive line. They got some dogs up there. So I think that's kind of what I'm worried about. I think you see them go to the ground a whole lot. I think you see a lot of running from Missouri. They had success in the running game, so I think you kind of try to see them kind of parlay that success in the running game with this one to kind of open up some of those passing downs, those passing deep shots that they can hit on some play action, stuff like that. So the Drinkwitz offense hasn't really translated that well to the college level. He was a disciple of Brian Harsin. That's not really going well at Auburn either for him. So they kind of run the similar offense, so it's tough to see the light at the end of the tunnel.
That's a bad tree to be off of right now.
It's like I don't love it. I don't love it.
That tree ain't bearing no fruit.
No, I'm not too confident when it comes to offense at all.
I don't know if I'm gonna call it a tree. Ragweed.
Yeah, I'm about to say weed. Yeah.
Go ahead.
I like your defensive line. I thought they played a good game versus Georgia. How do you think they fare against our offensive line? I think we have a very good offensive line, but you have guys, Trayon Jeffcoat, Isaiah McGuire. I thought both of those guys looked real good versus Georgia.
Isaiah McGuire's a stud, man. He gets in there and can wreck with the best of them. To be fair, I haven't watched a whole lot of Florida offensive line, so I don't really know how those guys will fare.
Oh, yeah, they running down on people, man. It's ugly.
And that's what worries me. That's what worries me because this defensive line, while they've had some good games, man, they've shown some glimpses of what they were last year, right? Last year that they didn't really defend the run all that well. They're susceptible to the run because they like to get after the quarterback, and so sometimes they get too far upfield, get bit like that. So that's something that I worry about a little bit. The secondary's been pretty good for Missouri. Chris Abrams-Strain, one of those guys that's played really well and has gone up against some of the best receivers for these teams. So the defense is certainly the strongest part of Mizzou right now. But again, I'm not too confident in them just because you never know what you're going to get game to game. You could get a Georgia game,
right,
but then you could also get a Kansas State game. They've just been so incredibly inconsistent that there's nothing I'm too confident in.
Yeah, my defense has been consistently bad, so I know what to kind of expect. If you guys are using a quarterback spot for your defense, it's got to be Hopper, right?
Yeah, man, he's been a game changer, I think, for what Blake Baker's been able to do for this defense. He kind of is a do-it-all guy, and it's been great to see him get after it and kind of almost have I don't want to say a rebirth, but kind of have some revitalization to his college career. Looking at him now, I think that you can see a very confident player, a guy who's very confident in his play and confident in not only the scheme but the players around him as well. So I really like what he's been able to do and able to add to this defense. Man, I know he played really well against Mizzou last year, and seeing him going off that after I saw he transferred to Mizzou, I was like, well, he played really good against us last year, so this should be good. So I really like him. I think the defense really runs through him.
What do you think Mizzou has to do to win this game? What has to go right for Mizzou to win this game?
I think they got to connect on some deep balls. Brady Cook has struggled to connect with Dom Lovett, who I don't know if he's leading the SEC in yardage still, but going into last week, he was leading the SEC in receiving yardage. He got a little banged up, but I think he'll be all right to play this week. But I think you got to see some connections on those deep balls. You got to see the Dom Lovitz, the Luther Burdens, those guys haul those shot plays in for them to be successful on the offensive side of the ball. They're going to run the ball. That's what they're going to do. But to take advantage of the opportunities that they can get when they have those deep shots open up, they've got to be able to take advantage of that. And I think that's been kind of Missouri's downfall, is that they've had opportunities, but they haven't fully seized them. They've had, small mental errors. The offensive line has attributed way too many penalties between false starts, holdings. They brought back so many big plays from holdings and false starts. Are very undisciplined when it comes to the penalties. So I'm sure you're licking your lips with that one. That'll be good. That'll be good for that. But you gotta kind of play clean football, and you got to take the opportunities when they're given. And that's what I kind of think the offense has to do.
Yeah, no doubt. I do respect. I think you got, like you said, you got some playmakers on the outside receiver. We are suspect in our secondary. Trey Dean isn't starting anymore, so it's Kamari Wilson in the secondary, so he'll get some opportunities. But you got a freshman back there, so it's always in the back of your mind that you got a true freshman, and playing on the back end. So we'll see, man. I don't think it's the SEC, bro. As you can see with Georgia last week, you got to show up to play every single week. It don't matter what it say on the side of the helmet. Everybody can beat your ass, man. So should be an interesting one in the swamp. Give me your prediction on how you see it playing out in the score, man.
Well, I think I looked earlier this week. I think Florida was favored by 11 points when I checked the DraftKings Sportsbook, who we work with at KC Sports Network. I think Florida was favored by 11 points, and I think it's a pretty solid line, especially being at home for Florida. I think it's going to be tough for Mizzou to get up in this game. I don't necessarily trust the offensive line all that well. I do think Florida wins it. What's going to be tough for Mizzou is this is pretty close to a must-win for them if they want to make a bowl game. You look at their schedule. Look back after their schedule's tough. You can kind of pencil in Vanderbilt. You can pencil in New Mexico State as 2 wins, but then that only brings them to 4 wins. They've got to steal a win, whether it's Tennessee. I don't think they beat Tennessee. Kentucky, they've got to try to beat Kentucky. They can maybe beat South Carolina. We'll see how that South Carolina team shakes out. But they've got to try to steal 2 wins in a tough, backloaded SEC schedule to make a bowl game. And that's, if they don't make a bowl game, that's a backwards year for Eli Drinkwitz, and that's not going to be very good with the fan base. So we'll see how that happens. I do think it's going to be closer than 11 points. So I do think Florida will win it. It's going to be one of those noon swamp games, So I'll probably say, let's go 27-21 Gators is what I'll say.
I got it 30-17 Gators. Like I said, if you guys are at home, I have a little bit closer, just due to Florida pretty much struggling at Mizzou in the past, and what you guys did last week against Georgia. But home team, I got them 30-17.
Right.
I think Mizzou's gonna, possibly have a little bit of a hangover from not pulling off that victory against Georgia, which leaves me, I think, they might have emptied the tank on that game. That was a game that they had an opportunity to win, pulled up just a little bit lame right there towards the finish line. So I'm going to take this one. I'm going to go Florida 34, Mizzou 21.
Damn, you almost picked my exact score.
That's almost damn near. Yeah, I think they spent a lot in that Georgia game, and I think losing that, I think it took a lot of wind out of the sails. I think they would be probably better served if they didn't just lose closely to Georgia, but that's kind of how I see that particular game playing out.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be fairly close, like first half, unless something go crazy. You never know. But how I see it playing out, it's fairly close game. We maybe be up 1 possession the entire first half, but late in the third, fourth, I think we start to pull away a little bit, and we win to the tune of 34-20.
Good.
2 touchdown win game. That's how I see it playing out. Hey, Tucker, I appreciate you for hanging out with us, man. Tell the people where they can find you at, man. Great job, bro.
Yeah, no, you can follow me on Twitter at Tucker D. Franklin. Follow KC Sports Network on Twitter at KC Sports Network. Pretty easy stuff, man. Pretty straightforward. Appreciate y'all for having me, man. It's great to talk. Great to talk some SEC. I love it.
Already, man. Thanks for hanging out, man.
Appreciate
you having me, man. Good stuff.
Right on, man. Take it easy.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
I do got to recap my Eastern Washington game. It ain't too deep, just a few little things I want to run over.
I got Pete. I ain't
y'all want to take the break here? Let's take a break here, real quick.
Y'all want to take a physical break?
I know we want to do. Yeah, we're doing scheduled breaks now, man. We got to
break
the show.
Yeah.
It's quite a lengthy show, man. So give us a little bit, quick 5 minutes. We'll be back, to kick it and give y'all some more of this Mizzou game and also Eastern Washington recap. I can stuff me a quick. It's the roll up. It's the vibes. We back from a quick little break. That break was all right. I ain't even gonna lie to y'all. Got to refresh. Thought of some new lies.
Oh, let's have them.
I got some new shit.
No doubt. About to recap Eastern Washington, correct?
No, that's well, go over your business.
Let's just wrap up Mizzou.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we just got. I do think we need to come in and run the ball, establish the run. The run game does look different. Like just watching the recap of some of these games, talking to some other people that, and we just been sharing notes. We're doing less pistol formation, a lot more shotgun. Out of that formation, I think the pistol is more beneficial for the running back. There's still the quarterbacks in front of them, so it's kind of like being under center, but not kind of shotgun, but not. Good for the running back to get the ball, the quarterback not standing beside him. He already got like a step going already. From a quarterback perspective, AR shines in the shotgun because he don't have to turn his back ever in the shotgun. And that pistol, there's moments where he has to turn his back and he loses the vision of the field. And the read could change just that quick, right? Or processing the game and the play and how the play developed changes from that fake handoff. And when you turn back around, it's different than just catching the ball and watching everything play out. So there is some changes Billy has adapted from his system. It's less pistol going on, and that has affected the run game a little bit, but not a ton. I do like the switching in the way the offense clicking right now. We'll see how it lines up when we play some pattern match defenses like Georgia. It could get a little bit more tricky with those Kirby guys. They're a little bit more smarter and could affect us different ways in the run game. But as of now, getting the run game going out of the shotgun. We get that going. I think AR is going to do what he got to do. It looks like he got his feet settled up on him. 2 big games of, first throw versus Eastern Washington was a 75-yard touchdown. First time we've done that on the first play of the game since 1992. Billy looked like he's been trying to do that on a couple of openers, but we just been missing that throw. It's been there. The kid's touch is getting better. A lot more touch. We're not getting the hot sauce in the beginning of the game where it's just too much juice on the ball. It looks like he's calming down a lot. It's maturing. It's a process, man. But that's the biggest thing. I think AR take care of the ball. We win the football game. That's been the theme of the season. Both football games we lost this year came down to turnovers. Defense hasn't played great, but if we take care of the football and do the things the captain of our offense should be doing, we win those games. I like AR to do that this game. I want to see a turnover-free football game from him. He hasn't done that yet. He's put up some big numbers, but he's had some just moments of just being careless with the football. Something he needs to clean up, and this is a good opportunity for him to get that cleaned up before we get to LSU and Georgia.
LSU's been playing some pretty decent football, man, since that first game. So
yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, I see where that would be a concern if they can get, if they righted the ship. Yeah, it'd be crucial for him to take care of that football. So every game so far he's had a turnover?
Yeah, I think so. I believe so. He's turned over the ball every single game.
I think you're right. Okay. There's something to look out for.
Yeah, just gotta take care of the football. That's it. Some of it, like I said, he get careless. It was a running play where he fumbled. He just decided to go against the grain and cut back. When he had an easy touchdown, he just followed his blocker. So don't have to play hero football. The one in this Eastern Washington game, he threw into triple coverage out of this clear blue sky. It was just like, yo, what was that? He has those plays every now and then. So I just think he needs to mature out of that and clean up the careless turnovers, man. Take care of that ball. It's precious.
The balls are precious, man, and
fragile. You can't just be,
If you're one who's been entrusted with the balls, make sure that you take care of them. Real quick, we had a super chat from the homie Unique 863. Silk Gator fans going to really miss Hopper on Saturday. What say you?
We've been missing Hopper every Saturday. I don't think Harlan wants us to interrupt for the super chats doing this stuff. I think he clipped this up.
But he should put it in front of you.
I think not for this one. I think it's for
we got the guest.
Yeah, the guest.
Oh, okay. All right, that's some clarity. Yeah, I think we miss Hopper every single Saturday. Kind of expressed that to the writer that was on. Out of all the transfers that left, I think we miss him the most. Bogle is not really doing a whole lot up there at Michigan State, man. He's not even starting. I don't know if he made the right, some of this is business as well. So he might have made the best move for him at the time, but it ain't really working out for him out there. Diabate is not really doing hella great. And plus, he just wasn't a good scheme fit. But Hopper is a guy that could get from sideline to sideline. I'm pretty sure he's Mizzou's best player on that entire football team right now. So yeah, we're gonna miss him Saturday. But he about to catch these hands. He's gonna have a tough task on his hands and I'm pretty sure he's up for it. I expect him to come out there and play a good football game. He's out for some get back a little bit. He played with these guys. He's on our campus 3-4 years, so he wants some get back. But he's gonna have the task of keeping his eye on, I think, Anthony Richardson, and we'll see how that works out for him. But yeah, he's a great football player. He's gonna play on Sundays, and we damn sure gonna miss him. Imagine if we had him right now. Shout out to my linebacker room, though. I thought my linebacker room needs some fixing, but I got to see some young boys play. Per usual, the one black guy some snaps came in. He graded out at 84.7 as the second highest defensive player. Princely Human Kneeling was graded the highest at 93.3, but Shamar James also was graded the third highest at 77.4. So some type of positivity from the linebacker room, but on the real, when the film is on, it's buns. Amari Burney went down with an injury. I do not have an update on his injury status right now. Hopefully we got him back. Matter of fact, try to grab me that real quick, Taylor, if you're in the trenches, or Braxton. Grab me the injury updates on Ventrell Miller and Amari Burney, both my linebackers. Back to that football game versus Eastern Washington. 76 different players got to play, which is an improvement from the type of stuff. We would blow out teams with Dan Mullen, and he'd keep the starters in the entire game. It's hard to develop that way. So it's good to see 76 different guys get to play. My young boys at defensive line, Justin Boone, actually started over Princely Human Kneeling. I don't know if that set a fire on his butt or what, but Justin Boone started, but Princely Human Kneeling had the better game. Created a turnover when he got some opportunity. Kamari Wilson logged his first start. Last show I said that the benching wasn't because Trey Dean lost his job, because he got injured. And I was corrected on Stadium Miguel, man. Shout out to my man Nick Delatorre. If you listen to the Stadium Miguel show, and it's just some smoke that wasn't an injury. If anything, some feelings were hurt. But Kamari Wilson won the starting job. He got promoted to starting defensive back, and the word is they don't think there's an injury or anything that happened to Trey Dean, who was on the sidelines, not in equipment. And we'll see how it pans out this game, because Kamari had a pretty good game. He played a team high 64 snaps, so there was a concentrated effort to get him some reps. I thought overall good game from him.
64 snaps. That's a good stat for you to bring up. I like that.
And safety, right?
Yeah, safety.
At safety, yeah. My guy Miguel Mitchell got some reps as well. Another young boy at the safety position. He made a play behind the line of scrimmage where he's forcing a fumble. We just haven't seen safeties make big plays at all. So to see some presence and some activity from the safety room this past game from the young boys was promising. We're going to take our lumps. When you got young safeties, they give and they take it away. You just, like I said in the beginning of the podcast when we were talking about this matchup, there's some opportunity there. Like, I'm pretty sure Mizzou is looking at that like, yo, let's go deep more. I know he may be conservative, but hey, man, they got freshmen playing on the back end. Let's take some shots. Let's try to confuse him with some of these looks. So we'll see how it all pans out. But for the future, it was getting exhausting seeing older guys make the same mistake week after week. So to see some accountability. You fuck up, you gotta see the pine, man. That sets the tone in the locker room. I want to see more 7 at defensive tackle as well. He's starting to earn a lot more snaps. He's active at defensive tackle. Both 7s on the side of the ball, I think, are very good freshmen. They're going to eat here for a long time. My man Jalen Kittner is going to be a ball player. I mentioned on here before, my man, shout out to Bar Redmond, was telling me. I kept trying to remember who told me that Kittner was playing better than Jack Miller in camp, and it was Bar Redmond. I thought I went through some notes. But yeah, my man Bob told me over the summer that don't be surprised if Jalen Kittner was to pass Jack Miller, and he had a good game. First time suiting it up and us seeing him in some real action outside of a spring game. He comes out, hit a 62-yard pass, touchdown, just a beautiful pass, man. Kid got a nice deep ball. When you look at him on paper, man, you know, he's a big kid. Looks a lot like Kyle Trask, one of them 6'5", 6'6" guys. Huge, got a big arm, throws a pretty deep ball. But he hit my man Caleb Douglas, the wide receiver who Billy got in the last minute out of Texas. It came down to us and LSU. That kid's going to be a good one as well. I would like to see him get more reps. I like Caleb Douglas. Somebody that can stretch the field. My wide receiver room ain't doing half as bad as well. I seen a SEC stat. I think Justin Short is like 3rd or 4th in the SEC in receiving yards or something like that. Having an okay outing. Pearsall's having an okay season as well, despite the injuries. Receiver room isn't as bad as people made it out to be. I think they're okay. Could it be better? Yeah, I want to recruit that room better. I think we need some top end speed. I like what we got going on and how we're recruiting the position right now, but it's just not as bad as people made it out to be. Long as we play turnover-free football, I like us Saturday, man. And Eastern Washington game, it was just like everything that we wanted to see. Just a lot to fix on defense, and I think our biggest issue on defense is just personnel. I'm not mad at the scheme. Sometimes we do play too deep at corner position, but I think that's personnel. I'm pretty sure Corey Raymond has a lot of input with the cushions. And he's probably saying, hey, man, that's barbecue chicken alert. We probably need a cushion, especially if you got safeties that's a little confused and not doing their job on the back end. Like, we can't just be up here just jamming stuff. And that's my take on that. But outside of that, Jimmy and Joe's got to get better. We got to get some better players in here and better depth.
Anything else?
You got your visit list?
I don't have an extensive list. I do want to talk about Camden McDonald, who's going to decide. We're in October, so he decides at the end of this month. Yeah, he's visiting. I think it's coming down to us and Clemson. I like where we're at in his recruitment. He says a lot of good things about the culture changing there in Florida. I know we just had Sean Spence and Spiegler at his game recently. He's nursing an injury right now, but and originally didn't have any plans. But today, on 3 and those guys over there, Nick Delatorre and those guys, they say he's gonna be pulling up Saturday. Big visit, which I think is the biggest position of need right now. When you look at us play on Saturday, the biggest position of need is defensive tackle, bro. So big visit. If y'all see him,
Sean Spence?
Hand him out some money. Allegedly.
Is it Sean Spence?
Yeah, what's his name? You got a different name? Hold on. I think his name's Sean Spence, ain't it? What's my coach name?
About the linebacker from Miami. Something Spence.
Was it Spencer? I'm sorry.
Spencer. Okay, that's what I say. Because whenever I listen to you talk,
I can see the mix up.
Like, yeah, the name is close, and I'm always like, I thought it was a little different. Yeah. Okay. Make sure I ain't tripping. Gotcha. Cool.
Yeah, Sean Spencer.
Sean Spencer. Yeah.
Spencer, yeah.
William Peagler. Peagler was at the visit his game recently. But yeah, Sean Spencer.
Okay. Yeah.
Who's a great recruiter, man. I like the way he's doing, man. The defensive line room is about to get real vicious, and it needs to work, bro. Once that defensive line, we're affecting things up front better. Down the middle, we just weak. Defensive tackle, linebacker, and safety. Need a youth movement. Definitely a linebacker and safety. But we'll see how it all fares out as the season plays out. Y'all got any questions for me?
No, I mean, I think you and me in a similar boat, similar situation where it's just guys see some rosters. Yeah, y'all not that good, bro.
Well, you smoking some bad dope, boy. No, we definitely not.
I don't even smoke, man. You're not that good.
No, y'all boys is historically terrible.
You're not that good, man.
Let me tell you something, boy. Let me tell you something, man. I'm not saying we were world beaters because we're not. You know, I'm honest about
you ain't block beaters. You ain't block beaters. You ain't
Middle Tennessee beaters.
East beaters. I don't know that.
Yeah.
I don't know that. How can you say that? Y'all was in a dog fight with USF.
Bro,
y'all were 27-point favorites.
Yeah, dog fight versus getting.
You need to be worried about getting bowl eligible.
Nah, we done that. What does that mean? We done that last few years. I don't
You
mean
may
nothing.
not get there. But we'll get Caden McDonald there. We're gonna see if we can get him one of those, those high vibration plates, man. One of them high vibration mac and cheese plates, man. Feed his ass that Mac. Yeah, the high vibration Mac.
That shit ain't vegan, Mac. Don't eat it.
Don't ever put my team in the same conversation as a team that just lost to Middle Tennessee State.
Why not? Y'all ain't
they got a
good.
quarterback that can't hit the wide side of the barn.
Ain't that good, man. Stop that.
We ain't running into each other. None of that goofy
Stop the cap. Y'all not that good.
I keep forgetting about that damn play. That play was crazy.
That's a Willie moment, man.
Yeah, it really was.
Speaking of bowl eligible, I don't know what you chiming in for.
What?
Sitting on the sidelines, watching everybody else.
Why you watching? Why you keep talking about last year? Talking about you
talking about
did that plenty of times. No, you're not. You just said get bowl eligible. We did that plenty of times. We talking about this year.
We did.
They're not about to do that this year, man. North Carolina about to beat
y'all
the dogs.
Y'all ain't won 6 games. How y'all did it?
They go to Wonder Twins.
That's a fact.
No, it ain't no fact. How is it a fact? They ain't done yet.
We're talking about
fact
this.
Is y'all ain't done it in 4 years, right?
When have y'all did it?
Y'all have not been to a bowl.
When have y'all did it?
I asked the question first.
Exactly. That old shit. What Slim Charles said?
You have not been to a bowl in 4 years.
What Slim Charles said?
If you're a freshman on this team, you've been through a lot, bro. You lost to FIU. You lost to Louisiana Tech. You lost to a Florida State team 5 wins. And then you just lost Middle Tennessee State, bro. That's like you've been through some. You need some therapy.
All right, go ahead and beat y'all chest, man. Shitty ass Florida team.
I know
it's real. I know it's real.
You know what's real.
All 3 of them. Mid is a motherfucker, but
it's levels
to mid. Oh,
yeah, levels to mid, boy. Trust me.
Yeah, they all laughing at us, but it's cool.
No. Y'all got some different giggle emojis. Some different giggles going at Miami, bro. That shit is crazy down there.
God bless you, man. God bless you. Heisman. We'll be getting the picks.
Yeah.
Let's do it, man. Y'all pound that like button while y'all got a little moment. Share, comment, subscribe, all of that. It don't cost nothing to show love, man. Love is absolutely free. We appreciate all the super chats. Continue to ask us questions, but hit that like button.
Pick 'em brought to you by the homie Spencer over at SpencerJerkyJerky.com. The only made to order jerky that starts with a trip to the butcher, the source tender steak specifically for your batch. Marinated 24 hours in freshly crafted marinades using only locally sourced produce and all natural ingredients with no added sugars. Nothing in the tank, man. Sugar don't come with it. We ain't putting nothing else in it.
I like that.
Nothing else, man. It got 5 staple flavors. Sometimes you remix it. You got to, stay in tune with the site. Sometimes you'll throw a collab in there or, a remix of some sort. But the 5 staple flavors that you can always depend on is original, Old Bay, habanero bourbon, mandarin jalapeno, and lemon pepper.
Oh,
my boy. Worldwide shipping available for Spencer'sJerkyJerky.com. Use exclusive promo code Big Meat for 10% off your order. You can get that shipped from Midway, Georgia to Calgary, Canada. Shout out to my boy E. He finally got that location in before. Usually he gets it in like 22 seconds late. And I'm like, too late, my boy. Good job, my man. All right, let's get these picks out.
Outfit over here, Larry.
Yeah. I like to get the people a little behind the scenes, man. It makes it fun. We're very authentic with what we do. All right,
transparent.
Let's get these picks on. Absolutely. All right, week 6, man. First game on the docket. We have the Gators.
Top dog in the state, man. Where we at with it?
We got the Gators of Gainesville, favored by 11.5 over the Missouri Tigers.
For brunch. For handling these boys for brunch, man.
Them boys doing it early.
I think I had 30-17. Yeah, so give me Florida.
We just did that one, man.
Harlan,
you picked Mizzou?
I got Mizzou to cover that too, man. 11.5, 12 points. I know y'all still scared of pussy, so I'm gonna go ahead and keep the streak going, man. Y'all lost Kentucky again, so I mean I'm betting on Cat. That's just how I'm gonna do that. All right, we got number 17 TCU on the road against. Hear this.
The undefeated 19 rate.
Hear this, Hurricanes, Gators, and Knowles fans. The number 19 Kansas Jayhawks.
That shit. We'll run down on that Jayhawk shit.
I like your attitude, bro. I love you, bro.
Give me Kansas.
We'll beat anybody.
Give me Kansas, dog. I'm believing in that coach. Give me Kansas.
I don't think we'll beat anybody. We'll run down on
you beat the shit out of Kansas.
I just lost on the spread. I think TCU covered. And they looking all right, man. I ain't gonna lie to you. Kansas is hot right now as well, but give me TCU.
I'm gonna go with Brother Silk on this one. Give me TCU to cover. I'm proud of Kansas for winning in some games, but they ain't played nobody still. So, but they won the game, so I can never take that away from them.
I learned from the gambling boys, man. I've been studying Twitter and how these boys tweet on the streets. So you got to watch like their records versus the spread. Fuck win and losses, right? Like what is their record versus the spread?
That is a super smart way to bet. All right, third game on the docket. The Tigers, the Bayou Bengals, which there's no such thing.
That's crazy.
there's no Tigers in the Bayou of Louisiana. But
Louisiana, yeah. Let's name my team the Tigers.
I guess you can't call them like the crawfish. So, number 25, LSU is hosting
the
Tennessee.
Louisiana Bayous.
We already took Gators, so
yeah,
that would have been a good one for them as well.
That would have been a great one for them. They got more Gators. We looked that
Swamp
up.
people. They should be the LSU Swamp people or some shit like that. Everybody would get
it.
Right. They're hosting number 8 Tennessee. They are 3.5 point underdogs.
Give me the home team, man. Death Valley, man. Let's go. I'm rocking with LSU.
Oh man, I like it. What you got, Silk?
Yeah, Tennessee offense, man. I think it's one of the best in the country right now. That shit, Hypo got that shit moving a little bit. They are on the road. Tough to play in Death Valley. Shit. 3.5.
3.5.
Give me Tennessee, man.
Once again, I'm gonna echo that sentiment. I think Tennessee's offense has been I won't even call it surprising. I think they've been continuing some of what they built upon last year. I think they keep it going against LSU on the road. So yeah, give me Tennessee to cover that 3.5. Next game, we have the Texas Longhorns. They are actually favored by 7.5 against the Oklahoma
Red River rivalry.
It's the Red River rivalry. So it's not really, I mean, they're calling Oklahoma the home team, but this game is played in Dallas.
50-50.
Yeah, it'll be a 50-50 crowd. So
give me Texas, man. Give me Texas. Oklahoma just hasn't impressed me under V. 7.5 is a lot for this game. I can see it close. Give me Texas though. Fuck it.
Yeah, if he look like he'll look like nervous about having that job. He don't look comfortable on the sidelines, bro. Venables is just not doing it for me. Yeah. Give me Texas. Shit might get ugly.
All right. We're unanimous on this one. I'm taking Texas to cover. I actually think Oklahoma can maybe pull this game off, but not by 8.
Their quarterback, man, he's got some accuracy issues. They got some receivers that's running wide open that he just can't hit. He got some shit in his fundamentals he got to clean up. But just from the quarterback position, I don't think that offense is that damn good, bruh. I just don't like the way it looks. You know, whatever he's running don't look good in Oklahoma. You feel me? That's my opinion. That was my first time watching them play live last week.
Did I say it backwards, Harlan? I said Texas favorite, -7.5.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's neutral site.
Yeah. As I said, I don't know. He said Texas favorite, or maybe I said it wrong a second ago. So let me reiterate. Maybe I said it wrong. I like Texas to cover, but I think Oklahoma can still pull this game away.
Correct.
We'll see. I think maybe a high scoring affair where Oklahoma may win something like 37 to 35. So I got Texas covering that one. All right, next game on the schedule.
It's a good one.
Number 23, Mississippi State is at home, hosting the Arkansas Razorbacks. Mississippi State is favored by 7.5 there.
Pig Suey.
Yeah, Mississippi State. I take Mississippi State.
Got Mississippi State going to cover. You going with the Pirate? All right, I'm gonna go Arkansas on this one. I think Arkansas covers. I actually think Arkansas wins this game, but I don't think they lose by 8. All right, probably one of the more intriguing matchups this week. We have number 11 Utah.
Utah been about their business since we ran down on
them. Right, they on the road to number 18 UCLA. They are favored by 4.5 points.
Give me the Utes.
All right, what you got there, Silk?
I think the Utes struggle with scrambling quarterbacks, man. Give me UCLA.
Like it.
They got it at home. It's hype. UCLA, like we criticized Chip Kelly in the past. But on the Lord's the keys, like he done built him and got his shit implemented. Yeah, that shit might be loud out there in UCLA.
Giving credit what credit's due.
Yeah,
I'm never mad at that. Never mad at that. I'm gonna actually agree with you on that one. I'm gonna take UCLA at home. I think they not only cover this, I think they actually win this game. Close game. I think it'll be an exciting game. That's why I say probably one of the better games this week, but I got them covering at the very least. Next game. Number 2.
Man, this is crazy spread right
UGA.
That's when you know it's time to get a new coach, man.
Yeah.
If anybody in your conference got a spread on you of 30.5 points.
That conference play,
especially a team like Auburn.
Insanity. Conference play, like, period.
I can see Vanderbilt or something like that. But Auburn, that's crazy.
Even Vanderbilt, 30.
No, I can see Vanderbilt. Conference. But with that said, give me Georgia.
If I see it with Vanderbilt, 30-point spread versus Vanderbilt, I get it. Like, all right, okay.
A little bit. You're right.
Yeah, whatever.
But Auburn ain't supposed to be 31 point dogs against Georgia. But nonetheless, that is the case. Number 2, Georgia, 30.5 point. Favorites against Auburn.
Nice.
What we got?
Yeah, man. I'm gonna go with the odd makers, man. No, Georgia's been struggling against the spread. Give me Auburn.
Okay.
Yeah, fuck it. Give me Georgia's Auburn. I don't even fucking pass it.
I'm with you, so yeah, they ain't been doing fantastic against the spread. Old rivalry game, and I think Georgia gonna still like spank them, but 31 is a lot. Give me Auburn to cover that 30.5. All right, a few more left here on the docket. We have number 7 in the country, Oklahoma State.
They didn't look right.
Out recruited any of us, but probably beat any of us.
People not beat me. Don't compare me to people that play my schedule, bro.
You ain't, man.
I got the toughest schedule in the country right now. Played so far.
Yeah,
that's facts.
That's cool, brother. I love you too, man.
And the people want to hear stats. They don't want to hear our love and affection for each other, man.
No, it ain't got nothing. It ain't. I'm just keeping it real, man.
Give me Oklahoma State.
They
I like
are
Oklahoma State to cover that as well.
Texas Tech is the opponent. For those listening, not watching, Texas Tech is 9.5-point underdogs. Yeah, I think we're unanimous on this one. Go ahead and I'll take Oklahoma State. Next on the docket, we have Miami -4.5 against UNC.
Yeah, we already did this one. Big Tar Heel.
No doubt. Tar
Big
Heels, and of course I got Miami.
Mac Brown, big homie.
Yeah.
Big homie. I like it. Respect the Big Mac. That's my guy, man. I never disrespect the guy that's pulling your collar, yanking your chain. You gotta respect that. Number 3, Ohio State. On the road against Michigan State, -25.5.
Mel Tucker is mid Tucker right now, fellas.
Yes, sir. Get him out of here.
Give me OSU.
Big OSU vibes. They're gonna be paying Mel out next year.
What? That's crazy.
That's
don't
yeah.
speak that.
Oh,
Don't speak that
yeah.
on the brother, man.
Hey, y'all do it to me.
You gotta speak positivity to your brother, man.
Let me tell you what's happening, man. Next year they're gonna pay Mel all that money to quit.
No way.
Oh yeah, big time. We all pick at OSU to cover, right?
Yeah.
So he definitely got to get out of there. You can't lose by 20.
He ain't at 30 yet. He ain't at 30.
All right. We have Notre Dame hosting BYU. What is BYU? Brigham Young is Cougars. Thank you, bro. I knew it was a cat. I was going to say Mormons. That too.
It could have been that.
That too. They are at home. They're actually favored against number 16 team in the nation by 3.5.
Notre Dame.
That Notre Dame at home? Okay.
Yeah. I think they kind of starting to figure it out a little bit.
I don't trust Marcus Freeman yet.
Okay. So you taking BYU?
Yeah, give me BYU. I don't trust Morgan Freeman or Marcus Freeman.
Morgan or Marcus.
It's good reason not to trust Morgan, man.
For sure.
All right. I'm gonna echo your consent. I don't know why I said consent. I'm gonna echo your sentiments. Yeah.
That's a wild mix-up.
Well, because you know what it is. Look up Morgan Freeman and his granddaughter.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I'm talking about I know you know. I'm talking about for the fans.
Yeah.
That's what makes me up. I'm gonna actually echo that, and let me take BYU to cover. Yeah, it's a weird scenario, brother. Let me get BYU to cover.
The Targaryen is going on here.
You can't trust the Freemans right now, fam.
I like that. See, what in the Targaryen is going on around here? Oh man, what's up, Dan? Dan Thompson here. He wanted to say hello, man. Appreciate Dan. Dan's one of the co-hosts on Stadium and Gale. Great show to listen to. If you're a Miami fan, Gator fan, or Florida State fan, I told y'all 100 times over. If you want the real, when they take all the cap off, go on over there. They keep it real on Stadium and Gale, especially Nick. What y'all call it? Hating ass Nick, negative Nick,
hating ass, negative ass Nick, the most negative, pessimistic fan in the world.
All right, last two games we got here. Number 1, Alabama is hosting
that boy Jamo floating with that 30.
The fighting.
He floated with that 30.
They are 24.5 point favorites.
Right. Jimbo ass almost out of here, man.
Almost there.
Yeah, I think I'm be honest with you. Y'all go ahead.
What a take, man. Floating at that 30 is the name of this show for sure, man.
Yeah, floating at that 30.
All right, love it. What y'all got on this one, man?
Give me Big Saban. Y'all remember that shit he was talking over the summer?
Oh, he was talking greasy as fuck, man.
Jimbo was doubling down on shit, boy.
Nick, you know what Nick was saying? You wasting all them kids' talent. They can't hit, they'll be going pro. You buying them and you don't develop them.
Man,
that's
Jimbo
why he was mad.
Came with big humility this week, man.
Oh yeah, real big different tone in that tune. But give me Big Saban.
Yeah, man, Nick Saban, big homie.
Right, he literally big homie right now.
They won last year. They pulled it off last year, but yeah, give me Unc Nick doing some nasty work against Texas.
Yeah, he gonna rub that shit in too, boy.
Yeah, he gonna embarrass him and let him know
he should.
I wasn't just talking.
He should. You gotta go for the throat at this moment. Like, you know, you was talking crazy to me, but I ain't finna get all fall for your little trick, Jimbo. You talking big shit like you wanted some work. Here we are. You got a mid-team, mid-program. This is not Miami. We finna come in and bulldoze this shit, man. 24.5 spread. That's disrespectful. Jimbo was on his way out, dog.
Absolutely. Yeah, he's done. Yeah. I think this will be the straw that breaks the camel's back. I honestly think Jimbo could probably get fired after this game.
We gonna do it. No, don't give it.
I think this might be it.
I appreciate Nick breaking their wheel, but we're gonna finish their ass off, man. We got some get back to get. What's up, CJ?
No, we good. Go ahead, fellas. Go ahead.
Nah, yeah, I was just saying, yeah, I honestly think this will be the one. I think they cover, and it'll be like, all right, we paying them way too much money for this type of performance. So I think they move on. All right, final game. Number 14, NC State versus Florida State. NC State is at home. They are favored by 3.5 points. I think, well, we already clearly gave the predictions on this one, but quick recap. Silk, what you got?
Recap for what? North Carolina State?
NC State, 3.5.
I had it close. I think I had it 24. I got Florida State covering then.
Okay.
Yeah, you had about 2, if I'm not mistaken. I got us winning.
Yeah,
that's losing by 2. I got us winning by 2. So
I got y'all losing. I can't remember. It's double digits though. So give me NC State to cover that 3.5.
All right, real quick, man. Shout out to Lotto Boy and Ryan Day, man. We got Ryan Day playing. Listen to the show.
Ryan, what up, dog? Come pull up on the show, bro.
The boys tied at the top with Ace and Doug. Crypto and Gator Gurry.
CJ, you at 9? I ain't got my picks and put it in there, man.
That ain't bad now. I know, right? Yeah, because I missed a couple. I missed like.
Yeah, I got work missing.
Yeah, I missed the week for sure. All in the top 15.
Yeah, me and Larry got to input our picks, man. We did them on the show, so it ain't like we just making up some shit. But we got to input our stuff, man. Get us updated. I'm pretty sure we at the bottom.
Yeah, I don't know if he ever did that, but y'all heard it on the show, so you can't. It ain't like we trying to cheat.
Shout out to everybody, man. I appreciate y'all for hanging out with us and being a part of this whole Pick'em League, man. If you missed it this year, be sure to sign up next year.
Hey, shout out to you, 863 one more time for the donation. Appreciate you for donating twice. Marcus Freeman about to put chains on the door after this loss. Laugh my ass off.
They used to call me Crazy Joe. Now they can call me Batman.
That's wild.
Y'all gotta watch Lean on Me if you don't get that reference.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else, fellas?
Nah, man, that's all I got, man. I appreciate everybody for hanging out with us. Vibing with us.
One more thing.
We got Harlan.
I got all these people on my damn mentions on Twitter. Now that I'm on, I'm part of the podcast and everything, they're all coming at me.
Famous now, man.
They want my take on FSU, and all I gotta say is all y'all told me that we were gonna win 3 games.
Oh man, there you go, bro. More victory.
3 games, 4 games, the whole season. I see 3 wins. I see 4 wins. Mike gonna be out of here, bro. We already got 4. So don't come at me in these mentions.
That's it, man. Y'all confetti blow. Y'all, that's it. 4. You good with 4? How many you got y'all at, man?
Unless you got us winning 0 games for the rest of the season. Stay out of my mentions. You told me we were winning 3 games.
Fair
4 games. Jordan Travis was a slot wide receiver. He's the best QB in the state right now. I don't hear shit from the rest of y'all. Stay out of my damn mentions.
What round he gonna get
Who's
drafted?
the best quarterback? You don't believe that Trav's the best.
Jay Trav, the men lie, the women lie, but the numbers don't, baby.
No,
what round he getting drafted?
Like you make them want to look at the numbers, man.
They getting drafted for your quarterback. I can probably.
That wasn't the question. That was not the question, brother. What round shall the man be drafted?
Let's see next year when he come back.
Damn, he come back another year.
You call everybody quarterback on here, not a quarterback, and then your quarterback is the one that really
is the worst one out of all of them.
I didn't say that about AR. I did not. See, this is how y'all like the team.
I've
been a big fan. I've been a big fan of AR. He let me down, but I've never called him not a quarterback.
No, he hooping a little bit. I knew he was gonna bounce back, but yeah, he was called raw. So I say raw ain't like that shit gets a little weird. We didn't get into that.
No, I said he was raw.
But I didn't say that either, though.
I think as far as what they wanted the passing and stuff, I think he's raw. I think TVD is raw too, because like Sue said, he only played 6 damn games. How many games last year?
He played like 8 last year. Yeah.
I think like comfortability.
When I say raw, I mean, like I say, just more reps and
refine the skills. You got to refine the skills.
I think he all like just from watching him throw, I thought he worked on some touch things, and a lot of stuff that Denny said was true. That he was saying how improved he was. So from a skill and throwing standpoint, I thought he had to calm down more than anything, and that he was raw in that aspect because he hasn't had how many SEC starts, college football starts. Like he's from a program that went 6-6. In high school, it's not a whole lot of playoff run, big moments, anything like that. So he was raw in that aspect of just like winning football, being a quarterback. He hasn't been a quarterback that damn long, dog. So he was raw in that aspect. But I thought skill set wise, he was very improved, and he was gonna be able to hit some of these throws that he's starting to show now. He just had to calm the fuck down. And a lot of this game is mental. It ain't just like physical. A lot of this shit had to slow down for him mentally, and I think it's starting to do that for him. He's getting real comfortable.
Okay, that's cool, bro. And to make it 1000% clear, I never ever said that AR wasn't a quarterback. I still think
no, you didn't.
He has NFL pro potential. I do not feel the same about Jordan Travis. No disrespect. I do think.
No, I think Jordan Travis is going to get drafted as a quarterback. I think
he's a much improved collegiate quarterback. I think one big thing that's going to
you don't think he's going to get drafted? I think he's playing good enough to get drafted at quarterback, fan.
He is. My only concern with Jordan, honestly, and I'm just not shots at all, it's going to be health. It's going to be health. So it's not going to be better at a different position. So I think, yeah, he'll get a shot at NFL quarterback based on the film he's putting out this year. I don't know if he'll get drafted, though. I think the biggest part that'll be the difference is if he can stay healthy. If he can go out there and have a healthy season, then I think, yeah, he could possibly get drafted. Will he get a shot at quarterback at the next level? For sure. Absolutely. I do agree with that.
I think still got another collegiate year if he really wanted to come back, man. I think he ends up getting developed to an NFL draftable quarterback. That's my overall take. I don't think he goes and beats Russell Wilson, but there's a comparable there, size-wise. He's not a run-first quarterback anymore. He's gotten better. I just think, just looking at what the numbers he's putting up as far as like being an explosive quarterback, if you look up the top explosive quarterbacks in college football, he's going to be in top 15, 20. You know what I'm saying? Like that ain't hitting. He hitting deep balls. He ain't throwing screens and they're breaking these shits. Like I just think he's improved a lot in his skill set. He can, when he do exit the pocket, cause you a lot of problems, and that's been a trend for the NFL. So I think somebody's gonna give him a shot.
Yeah,
as long as he stays, I think health is.
That's why I say, yeah, I think he'll get a shot at quarterback regardless. I think the difference will be drafted versus undrafted free agent will be.
He'll get drafted.
If he can have a healthy year, somebody will take a flyer on him even pretty late. If he gets banged up again this year, then yeah, somebody will just be like, hey, let's bring him in as an undrafted free agent and see what we got there. That's the only difference. I think he has improved his game. One thing about me, if you show it, improve it, I'm never gonna hold an opinion that I previously had. So he's definitely shown improved.
I like when we get into these conversations because I do want, like, right now, I like my quarterback developing the way it's looking right now. Like, I know it's early on, but watching Kitten come in and play gave me some more resolve. watching AR and him adjust with the play calling, the offense a little bit, him calm AR down, some of the offense that he's calling. I know there's some smoke out there that people will want the offensive coordinator, and I've been saying on this show, like, I'm a little, it's something to monitor, but I'm okay with the play calling. We just got to execute better. So right now in the quarterback development, I do like where we at as like and what Billy's doing. Even when the backups came in and played, they look good. They look how they supposed to look versus Eastern Washington, man. So super impressed so far.
Breaking news, according to Brax, Trey Dean is back and starting. So I don't know how credible that is, but intern / junior producer for us says that Trey Dean is back and will be starting this week. So we'll see how that plays out, man.
Pleasure. Got some shout outs. I want to give a shout out to the guest, man. Pretty real dope guest, man. Appreciate you guys for coming, man.
Great lineup. I thought all three guys did a great job. Appreciate them pulling up. They ever need anything from the roll up, absolutely reach out, man, and we'll make ourselves available for anything you guys got going on. So definitely agree. That was my shout out as well.
Hey man, my shout out to you guys, man. Shout out to this whole crew. Harlan behind the scenes, my man E behind the scenes, Braxton behind the scenes, everybody that's happened with us, Taylor, and the whole gang, man. We put in a lot of work. We're gonna keep elevating. But we just had just give us like, bro, we building something, man. I think we got one of the dopest podcasts out there. Josh Pate and CBS agreed on something last night. That shit was super inspirational. Seeing dudes in the podcast lane, man, being able to elevate, become substantial platforms in this whole industry.
Respectable too, man.
Respectable, man. So we're gonna keep elevating our game. We're gonna need you guys' help as well, man. Help us elevate this brand. Share it, tell a friend and tell a friend, man. We're gonna keep improving the visuals and everything else we got going on, the off-season content. But just I appreciate this crew, man. Everybody that believing in this, we're gonna keep doubling up, keep betting down, all money in, roll up, man. I appreciate y'all.
Money out. Y'all saw Josh had the commitment edit.
Yeah. Nah, I didn't see that.
He did. I was like, oh, we did that. We did that. When BNC first came on the show.
Yeah, originally. That was
they dropped the edit that looked like a commitment.
Pioneers,
edit,
man.
Yeah, man. I was, and that's the thing, like, not on nothing hater. Like, I was like, I'm proud. I was like, what a moment.
Nah, because real talk, because I felt like one of us made it, so to speak, right?
For sure.
Because it's so relatable and to hear his story and how you built it, and it was 100% owned and stuff like that. So he's definitely changing the dynamics, and I feel like we can do the same thing. But again, fellas, like, subscribe, share, show the love, man. Appreciate y'all.
Absolutely, man. We love y'all. Real talk. We really do. Everybody that shows that love, we love y'all. You want to see us get to that level? Just simple support, man. And one thing that I know, me personally, I'll never change. Those that were down me from day 1, day 10, day 100. As long as you stay down, I'm down, man. Real talk.
It's the roll up. It's the vibes. Harlan, we out of here.